All right, it is live. Hold on. Share it on my page. I'm gonna share it to your page and my page. Let me see.
All right, khair, inshallah.
Where am I at? Okay. Um, and where did I send this? I know I sent it to myself. Uh, uh, yeah, it's on myself. Okay, hold up. Let me refresh that. All right. Okay. Sharing it to. Let's see. Sharing it to the group. All right, and I'm about to send it to you.
All right.
All right, should be sent.
Okay. So I just click the link. That's it.
Yeah, I guess. We'll
Okay.
find
All
out.
right. All right.
About to send it to you. All right, send. All right,
So let
let
me
me
just.
know what we'll do. I'll be right back.
So I just click the link. That's it.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Let me mute that. I just muted it. So there we go. Yeah, I can see it now. Inshallah. So hopefully we're good. Yeah. All right. Okay. Nah. Oh, people are on. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See some people on already. Let's see here. We will be starting shortly, inshallah.
Okay, I'm back. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. What? What? Get out of here. Baby's kids.
We don't
Okay.
die, we multiply.
Literally. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. خصوصا على الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين. مع بعد. Okay, so Good evening, everybody. I see my big brother on here, Luke Mon, Jersey. What's up? Stand up, Jersey. Where you at, Colin?
In Ottawa, Canada. In
Man,
Ottawa,
you
Canada.
in Canada?
Yep.
Did you move there, or are you from there?
I'm from Toronto originally, right? So, and
Do you know Drake?
no.
Had to ask, man.
Alhamdulillah. No, I don't know.
Okay, so everybody pretty much. Oh man, I'm having all kind of trouble with this phone. Oh my goodness. So everybody pretty much knows me. Let's take a second while I finish my unprofessionalism over here and tell people who you are, inshallah.
Inshallah, no problem, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hayakum Allah. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam wa sallallahu wa ba'd. My name is Bilal, right? Also known as Colin, as you mentioned, right? I have a YouTube channel called The Features, in which I deal with a lot of issues within the Black community, particularly the Black Muslim community. It's all real, and it's all like. I mean, you've seen some of the stuff, right? Yeah, it's like we don't pull any punches there, and I bring all the receipts, all the goods, and I basically fill this void that has been kind of neglected since the time I've been Muslim, and that is dealing with issues amongst Black Muslims, because by and large we have been largely ignored, and actually told explicitly to shut up about our issues.
That's
Black
true.
people, Black
Very
people
true.
who are Muslims. We've been told explicitly not to deal with that Black stuff. And Islam is not about racism, and Islam is not about race. We're all brothers in Islam, and blah blah blah. Right?
and there's no African Americans or Toronto black Toronto Canadians in the health schools. And going over, getting sent overseas, and then to come back and be the imam of the masjid.
Yeah.
So as long as we're okay with taking the back seat and letting our foreign brothers and sisters, namely the Arab and the Pakistanis, take care of everything, then we all right. But the moment we say, hold up now, I know some Quran too.
Yeah.
It's like, brother. It's a fitna, brother.
Yeah, of course, and all of this is it's actually social engineering. I put out some of the receipts on that from a book from a brother, Michael Abraham, and he wrote this book for Muslims who are sending their children to public school. And in the beginning of the book, he gives a historical breakdown. And in that book, he basically says that Arabs were here since the 1930s, and they were essentially participating in white supremacy in order to get the bag, right? So that's my translation.
Yeah, right. That's what happened.
Yeah. Right.
Like
so
he put say all the time, like, they didn't come here for the deen. Like,
they didn't come for religion, right? So, and he actually wrote this in his book, and he said that when Noble True Ali became Muslim, they just kind of like wrote him off as a kafir, right? But they didn't take into consideration that he himself didn't know Quran, he didn't know like Arabic or anything like that, but he just kind of accepted Islam based upon whatever little knowledge that he had, right? And he put that in the book. And on top of that, we didn't know who they were until Malcolm X anyways.
Yeah, right.
You understand that? And then we started seeing them talking about, Elijah Muhammad's not Muslim and all that kind of stuff, right? So, but anyway, at any rate, the whole point is that my channel deals with that stuff. And I don't pull any punches. I say exactly what it is, how it is, with the receipts. Whoever like it, whoever hate it. But to be quite honest, I've been Muslim now since 1990, and I've seen a lot of stuff. And I can tell you, without a doubt, there is a social engineering project with regards to Black people in the Muslim community, and this is nothing new. As a matter of fact, these projects started way even before white people ended up in Africa. You understand? With the Muslims themselves. I put all the stuff out there. I put how Arabs are enslaving Black Africans today, not back in the day, today, right now. In Libya, in Algeria, in Tunisia, in Lebanon, you know what I mean? In the Khaliji countries, we're talking about enslavement. You understand? And I show all this stuff. I show how, basically every other people group, their masajid are increasing, except for Black people in the West. They're the only people group. And mind you, if it wasn't for our history of Islam here in the West, you probably wouldn't see any foreigners, because it was Black people who were standing up for civil rights and all this kind of stuff, right? And the Easterners came here and benefited off of the blood and the struggle of Black people, and on top of that, turned around, spat in our face, and telling us, oh brother, Islam is not racism. It's like, you can miss me with that mess. Yeah, but anyway,
I done heard it all. Believe me, I done heard it all, man.
But anyways, my channel is called The Features, right? Right now, I have a strike on my channel, so I'm not able to upload on my channel right now. Maybe in a couple of days, inshallah, that might be able to upload, right? But that happens to me quite often.
But they didn't report you?
Yeah, I get reported all the time, man. I get
on
reported
YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, all the time. From both Sufis and Salafis. Both. I'm an equal opportunity hate person, man. They both hate me.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
But we got the good brother Ustad Abu Isa Gooding on him. He's inshallah he maybe like in the part 2 of this little series. I want him to be there on it. He good brother, knowledgeable brother, African American brother. He out the East Coast. Inshallah, Hanbali, good strong Hanbali brother. He got some strong opinions. I mean, he's strong. I'm cool with everybody. You know what I mean? But brother, he got some strong reservations. So inshallah, if we can't work it out, then I gotta tag him in. He'll go do inshallah. I just got back from vacation, alhamdulillah, to celebrate my 1-year anniversary. Alhamdulillah. So I got thrown off track a little bit with some of this. So me and him gonna do a video series, inshallah, giving a lens, because there's some connections with the Salafiyya and Hanabila, and I know a group of Hanabila that are not so happy about that. They kind of like, hold up, like, them ain't our folks. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But that we'll get to all of that. But so inshallah, we'll jump in.
Before we begin, I have to tell you, first of all, I'm very honored to be on your channel. Actually, I'm a big fan. I told you this already. I just want to let the people know, right? Because I'm not sure how many of your audience and my audience they intersect, right? But however, those people who do watch my stuff on YouTube, they know right away, and I say this all the time, I'm not a sectarian. I believe sectarianism is a tool used by the enemy in order to specifically divide Black people, because Islam is new in the West. You understand? True. And the people who accepted Islam the most were the Black diaspora.
Yeah.
And of course, the enemy, they infiltrated our ranks, which is what they do. We shouldn't be surprised. And there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt, and I say this: there's no way that all the sectarianism is organic. It's impossible. It's impossible. I'm sorry. No way.
If it is now, it would have always had been, and that
exactly
is the case.
Yeah, that wasn't the case. I became Muslim in the 90s, and I know how it was in the 90s, and I have a benchmark to compare it with. It wasn't like that back in those days.
So you watched it morph.
Yes, I watched it morph, and I talk about this a lot on my channel. This is some of the things that I mentioned, and I bring the receipts as well, as you know, right? Because I never say anything without actually backing it up.
That's the difference, man. That's the difference between the clickbaiters and real, actual, students of knowledge and researchers. We're gonna bring the receipt, but they don't ever really want to see or hear the receipts. People like especially the internet, man. They like to hear what they want to hear and Google what they want to Google and live in their own little world and their own little land and their own little reality. So the receipt getting is it don't hold much weight. Sadly, but it's there for those who need to see.
yeah. Our job, if you look at the occupation of the MBA.
Jomo, Salam Alaikum Jomo, another good Hamdani brother. He's gonna join this whole little series and this rap and this conversation as well. So me and you, we actually kicking it off.
Yeah.
And I've been saving them brothers. They've been kind of beating me down like, hey, we need to do this. I'm like, okay, like I don't want to make this effort one-sided. You know what I mean? We got enough videos over there and then some videos over here. We got enough of that. I'm trying to, get the conversation rolling in the right direction with both sides. We got plenty of refutation videos and treatises and stuff. We got plenty of that. And I ain't no scholar, so I'm not going to get into all the hair splitting and nitpicking with any individual. But just like you touched on, African American, this is an issue, especially here in the United States. The African Americans are, from my experience, I see them picking up the manhaj of the Salaf, and cool. I don't never ask nobody what it is that they follow when we in the masjid shoulder to shoulder or whatever. I ain't bothering them. I'm trying to get it in. But it's starting to get to the point. And from my experience, the brothers, and that's why I wanted to take up this effort. You got some brothers, the Salafi brothers are known to be very aggressive. Like over here, I don't know about over there, but over here, like they will stop you in the masjid and be like, you need to roll your sleeves, your pants legs up, or they go, they believe to touch the actual feet. Like, I don't believe in that. So, I move my foot, then this guy moves his foot. Then, now we like doing the splits, and so it's a problem. And then, you got people that want to get married, and then, most of the Black Muslim sisters in America are from Philly, and 90% of Philly are Salafi. And, I got brothers coming to me was like, man, what's up with the Salafis? They don't even, it ain't even that deep with them a lot. They don't even say Salafi. They hear it, but they always ask me, they want to get married. They always say, what's up with the sisters from Philly? Because they check you. They be like, what's your aqidah like? What's your tawheed like? And if you say something that's contrary to what they've already learned, no, brother, you a Hizbi. No, brother, it's like that. I'm like, we gotta clear the air a little bit. And some of the inflammatory things that I post, I just want to get the conversation greased and oiled and get it to run. Because for the most part, I done looked into it myself already. I want everybody else to not just regurgitate what they hearing. Grab a book, do some research, really go into these things before we start taking positions against one another. Which I guess that can serve as an introduction to this video series, hopefully. But this is alhamdulillah, I got a brother that has enough respect. Some brothers, like they be thinking I be being funny, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our judge. I'm not your judge. So what I say shouldn't turn you red. You know what I'm saying? Like it can make you annoyed and aggravated or whatever. But some things that some brothers say, I'll be like, what in the world? Where he get that from? But they always turn it into oh, brother, you ignorant. You don't know what the Salaf is, and that's why you talking like that. You don't know what I know. Just because I chose to take the position that I did doesn't mean that I don't know what it is. And it'll get disrespectful. So I definitely appreciate you accepting the invite from amongst millions. I've been posting on my page for like 5 years to get a brother on here. Just holler at me. Because I'm on this side of the fence. And you know, we got room in Islam. I'm gonna holler at my folks because y'all, you know, everybody's saying the kalima shahada. I've been taught to never take that from anybody. Never withdraw that. Even if you see if somebody come to you and asks you something that's crazy, I've been taught from my scholars who they said they got it from their scholars that you say, hey, if a person or some people are doing X, Y, and Z, then they need to make tawbah and, you know, sit down with somebody and correct their aqidah or whatever the issue is. Not say, hey, you, brother, you are out of Islam. You are brother. You know, we got way too much of that going on, man. That ain't the. That is not, you know, and everybody got Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah in their mouth. That is not the Quran and Sunnah. We had the Sahaba, you know, that was a little rough and a little hard on each other, but then was the big dogs, you know what I'm saying? Then was the guys who they said something, you know, they come hard at them, and they know it ain't gonna turn into nothing because they know where the iman stood at. We ain't on that level, you know. We gotta observe respect, like the famous story of when the Prophet said, when you get to such and such destination, make asr, and then a group prayed before then and a group prayed after. They didn't fight, they didn't argue, cuss each other to say you takfir, you disobey Rasulullah. That's the sunnah, and that's what we gotta kind of bring out. So with all that being said, I got 3 more key issues that I need some insight on. I'm asking these questions not to be funny, not to contradict you, not to quote unquote embarrass you. We can't because we all are slaves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's our judge. None of these people watching this is our judge. So if you can get embarrassed by these kinds of things, that means you got some problems with sincerity in your heart, and you know these kinds of conversations are not for you. Not talking about you. I'm just saying you in general, people in general. So you know it's tough. It's the hot seat. It's very tough stuff. And at the end of the day, if we can bring out some understanding on at least these 3, I picked like 3 big. We got some little smaller other things, or you know, fiqh point for fiqh point. I ain't no scholar. I don't get into that stuff. I follow the scholars, but at least to get us to have an understanding, because from the Ahlul Madh-habi, from the peoples of the schools, you know, it's 4 of us. It's four sets, and we all right with the other ones. Like it's a bunch of Shafi'is that'll come to the masjid. There's a bunch of Hanafis that come to the masjid. Like if the Shafi'is do Rafa al-Yadain, you know, and the different motions and positions, the Hanafis don't say nothing. That's just it ain't what they own. When you know, it's a bunch of like I'm in Cincinnati, and so we got a nice size Western African community, and they all Maliki. Some know it, some don't even know it. And when they do takbir tahrima, they put their hands to the side. That's how I pray. They make sadr. Don't nobody say nothing to them. They leave them alone. But I swear to you, wallahi, just about, you know, either a conversation will arise after when we having tea and coffee. But man, why them brothers back there, man, I've been praying like the Shiites, man? Is they Shiites? You know, it'll start, and it's always the Salafi brothers. It's all, and they like, oh brother, you arrogant. You got your pants below your ankle. You know, it's like hold up. Or if you say, I heard Sheikh Hamza Yusuf said, "Oh, brother, he's a Sufi, brother. Don't be quoting him. He's Sufi." I don't care if somebody was a Salafi, if they say they Sufi, if they Maliki, if they Shafi. Everybody's prone to say something that somebody like or might not be correct or whatever. But when it get to the point where we set tripping in the masjid and on Facebook, when I first came home from prison, I love Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. He my favorite. I'm posting stuff. I got brothers sliding in my inbox from I don't know where. Like, brother, he's a deviant. And if you listen to him, you're a deviant. I asked him one of them, like, well, tell me what he deviating on. Oh, he works for George Bush. That's your question, God. That's that man business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. When he putting down some fiqh, or when he putting down, whatever it is that he putting down on his stuff, man, it'd be good. And it's helpful, and we can incorporate it into our lives. We can have differences. That's my point. So, I haven't myself been able to legitimize some of the issues between the two groups. And I'm hoping you or somebody who sees this can kind of do ta'arud, work this out for me.
Okay. Bismillah, wassalatu wassalam, rasulullah wa ba'd. Okay, so first of all, I just want to preface this by saying I'm not a scholar. I'm not somebody of knowledge. I'm just a brother with a lot of experience. I've been in Dawah for a very long time. I've been involved in Dawah for many years. I've studied in Yemen for half a year. I've lived in Saudi Arabia. I lived in Saudi Arabia for 9 years, and I've sat with ulama. So, but I'm not. I don't consider myself a talib al-ilm. But out of brotherhood, out of akhuwa, you know what I mean? This is why I'm very happy for this initiative, actually.
Alhamdulillah.
Because what you have to understand, and Black people really need to understand this, our history is not like any other history on anybody on the face of the earth. And if you're a Black person in 2021, doesn't make a difference where you are. If you're a Black person in Africa, a Black person in the Caribbean, a Black person in South America, or a Black person in America or North America, doesn't make a difference. You are basically going to face certain tactics from the enemy in order to cause a lot of division and turmoil in your communities. It's happened time and time and time and time again. So we've seen what happened, for example, with Marcus Garvey and the FBI, how they infiltrated him and his movement, right? We've seen what happened with the FBI and the Nation of Islam, and we've seen what happened with the FBI and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and how they just systemically and systematically assassinate and take out Black leaders. In the 90s, when Salafia was spreading, it was growing like wildfire, okay? It was spreading very quickly, and it was legit changing the lives of people. And what you see today didn't happen in the 90s. And most people don't know that, because what they're witnessing is the aftermath of infiltration. You understand?
Yep.
So back in those days, when somebody became Salafi, they changed their lives, they changed their manners, they had the best manners, right? They had the best approach with people. They had concern about the Muslims. This is how we learned Salafiyah. You understand? What you're seeing today is essentially how do I want to put this?
Infiltration.
This is the aftermath of a certain group of people from Britain and Saudi Arabia who have basically usurped the dawah by force during the early 2000 period. And this group is called Salafi Publications. You understand? So this particular group, how they were able to do this is because back in those days, the internet was fairly new, and there were no Salafi websites. So the first Salafi website was a Salafi website called SalafiPublications.com or Spubs.com. All right, now it's called Spubs.com. And the other Salafi website was called Troy.org, which was out of Toronto. That's where I came from. I was involved personally, and I was a high-ranking member of Troy.org. And this is how I know all this stuff. because I was there in the beginning and I was there to watch the changes of the dawah. So in those days, we were just about dawah. We were just about calling people to Islam, calling people to the Sunnah. You know what I mean? This is what we were doing. We were inviting people to our homes. We were feeding poor people. We were getting brothers who were hooked on drugs cleaned up and whatnot. This is what we were doing. We were cleaning up the communities, like legit, like for real. You understand? Then this British man named Abu Khadija came, I can't remember what year, it's like 98 or something like that, to Detroit. And there was a big Salafi conference, and these Salafi publications guys were invited there. And then they did their website around this time. I want to say a little bit either before or after. And after that, that's when they started their tactics. You understand? From that time. You feel me? So their whole goal was to kick off anybody who was not with them off the manhaj, off the methodology, off the sunnah, so that they can have a monopoly of the the narrative of Salafiyah. And the website was key for that, because the website was a proper propagandist tool.
Right.
It was nothing like today. You understand? Where you have so many websites and all this YouTube and and a lot of the only information was out of these websites here. Now, Troy.org, the way it started was just translating lectures of the ulama, right? So they would have translated lectures of the ulama and they would put them on the website. And this was, subhanAllah, this was so incredibly influential on the people. You understand? It helped so many. I can't even tell you how many people this helped. Just this one action. May Allah reward the brothers, who translated and put in hard work and translating those works. It was just phenomenal. There was a massive library, an audio library of all these different scholars on all kinds of different topics. You feel me? And then around, I want to say early 2000s, a fitna that was happening in Saudi Arabia was intentionally imported to the West. And this fitna was involving a sheikh called Sheikh Rabi' bin Hadi al-Madkhali. You might have heard him as the Madakhila, right? And another man called Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi. And the reason, I don't want to get into too many details about this fitna, but the reason why this fitna kicked off was basically that Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi wrote this 2-volume book pointing out the mistakes of Sheikh Rabi'. And this is how Salafi publications was able to control the people from this fitna. How did they do it? They would test the people with Sheikh Rabi' and Sheikh Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi. And if anybody did not agree with their opinions, they would say that you are on the manhaj of Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi. And they would run back to Sheikh Rabi' and say that this person's on the manhaj of Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi. This person's on he's following Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi. This is what they did, And on top of that, anybody who wants to confirm this can just go to salafipublications.com and type in Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi, and they'll see like long refutations and people who they threw off, saying that this person's on the manhaj of al-Ma'rabi.
But they were both. But Abu Hassan was Salafi as well.
Yeah, he's Salafi. Yeah, but Sheikh Rabi' kicked him off the manhaj, right? And he did it in a way that I've never seen a scholar do this before, and I never seen a scholar do this afterwards. Now, mind you, Sheikh Rabi', he's a scholar, and Abul Hasan al-Ma'rabi is a scholar. You understand? But he did this in a way that I've never seen before. What he did is he got 30 people, right, to sign off on this refutation on, like, with the signature, with the actual signature. You understand? Saying, yes, this is the correct thing. You understand? So what I say all this to let Black people know that, let's say, for example, we never heard of Sheikh Rabi', we never heard of Abul Hassan and Madh-habi, and we never heard of Salafi publications, right? We never heard of these three groups. Would you be experiencing what you're experiencing now with Salafis?
You mean like all of the contention?
Yes.
I don't know. Look, this is the first time I've ever
the
heard
answer
this,
is
so.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? You would not be experiencing that. Why is that? Because that whole fitna was imported, which is what I said at the beginning. Every issue in the Black community, if you just take a look at it, the vast majority of our issues in the Black community are not organic. It's always some other
people's issues.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's always some other people group bringing something in our community and causing incredible damage. Look at the the Iran-Contra, how that brought crack cocaine into the Black communities.
Yeah.
Was that us doing it? Was it us doing it, or was it the CIA doing it?
Absolutely not.
You know, look at mass incarceration. Look at mass incarceration when Bill Clinton, made the 3 strikes bill. You understand, and it caused a epidemic of police planting 5 grams of crack on Black people in order to get them arrested so they can raise their arrest rates so they can get promotions. Was that an organic problem, or was that an imported problem?
Yeah, that was definitely important.
And we were not left
from the hood. I ain't never seen a brother with a boat. Never. Not to this day.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen a brother with a boat.
How are we getting the guns and the drugs and all this kind of stuff in the Black community? It's not coming from us.
Right.
It is not coming from us. So there comes a point in time when Black people have to be intelligent and accountable, because it's not the first, second, third, fourth, like how many times we go through this. Even the Black church was not set up by Black people. The Black church was set up by white people to control Black people. And this thing that is happening with the Muslims in the West.
Let me stop you real quick.
Go ahead.
So are you saying like the infiltration was with so are you saying like the majority of people, Black folks in the Western Hemisphere, were following the Salafi minhaj and they were trying to divide that? Or
La shak. When you find Black people who are destined for prison changing their lives and then started running their businesses, becoming family people, becoming united, like you do anything for your brother, literally anything. You understand? We were like that. I can't count the amount of times I had dinners at my house.
That's what I'm saying. Like, was there like peace between the Ahlul Madh-habi and the Ahlul Salafiyya? And
yes. And as a matter of fact, in those days, if you were Salafi, it was like a badge of honor. And the people saw this as an honorable thing, even if they weren't Salafi. That's how it was. Wallah ladhim, no cap, as you say, no cap. That was a fact. Okay.
Okay, so let's go from there.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I've never heard that, and you lived through it, so I definitely, I definitely take your word for it because you lived through it. I was nowhere near a Salafi, a Muslim, a Maliki, a Quran, nothing back in the 90s. So I was back on my Iran-Contra. But so with that being said, this brought out that division. It made issues arise. Now I imagine, and this is very arrogant of me, I imagine that I could spark the conversation that would make for these issues to surface, and we get what I'm willing to hear, and I've been told by people bigger than me, like Abdul Kabir, leave it alone. It ain't gonna go nowhere. But it's kind of hard for me to accept that because there's I don't know the percentage, but there's a very high percentage of African American. You know what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm on. Like you said, the unity.
Yeah.
And I don't believe we can unify as Black people first and foremost until we get past this and that. So I believe if I hear some legitimate answers to these concerns, we can quote unquote bring y'all in as the fifth Madh-habi. Yes or no?
Go ahead, Sheikh. Go ahead.
I mean, that's like that's the way I'm trying to make peace at it. And if not, I would believe that. So this is how I see it. Everybody know the Madh-habi, that's like been here. It's been here since the time of the Salaf. So what seems new is the whole Salafi Minhaj movement. That like I myself have not seen that from what we saw from from our point of view now. What we saw come with Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. We haven't seen it before then. From what I've seen and when I take this to my superiors, they concur. They like, we don't. That was never around. That never happened. That never existed. We don't know what dude was talking about. That's how we talking. We don't ever get the chance to sit down and have a conversation and exchange ideas. It just we're taught that on our side of the fence. How is that? How do y'all look at that? Because the Madh-habi, we say that the whole Salafi Minhaj thing came from Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab and his whole little, his whole little thing. Because we got some issues where that do divide us. They are legitimate issues, but for centuries there's been fighting about the issues. I want to bring some recollection and some understanding about the issues, and either we're wrong and we need to pull y'all in as the fifth Madh-habi, because like I said, it can't be the Madh-habi coming over to the Salafi Minhaj. It can't be that because the Madh-habi was already here. So it would have to either be we pull y'all in as the fifth Madh-habi, or something ain't right. And like I said in the group, y'all need to go ahead and get back to your roots of being Hanbali adherents. That's how I see it. Speak on that.
Okay. Well, over here, the thing is that to say that the Imam Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab is the founder of.
Hold on, I'm gonna get to y'all's comments too. We're gonna have a section when we deal with the comments. I don't want y'all to think we're ignoring y'all. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, is to say that it started with Imam Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab is a mistake. Actually, all of the Salaf we're talking about the Salaf, right? All of them. You know what I mean? Like, this is a mistake in understanding terminology, right? In Islam, there's nothing wrong with terminology. We use it all the time to explain.
Absolutely. It was used in the Quran.
Yeah.
When
exactly.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about the Muhajirun and who else?
And the Ansar.
And the Ansar.
Yeah.
They got two different ranks.
Yeah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, recognized that. So I concur.
Yes. So now what's happening is the experiences of people with the Salafi, with people who are calling themselves Salafi, right, is causing them to think a certain way about Salafis. You understand? Like your experiences, with all that you explained, it's all real. Everything that you experienced actually happened. I know it happened because I was witnessing the changes in the behaviors of the Salafis. And Allah forgive me, I was involved in that as well. I changed my behavior. I fought for the okie doke. You know what I mean?
Leave brother's pants alone.
Right? So what we have here is like a misunderstanding in terminology. You understand? So Salafiyya is a manhaj. A manhaj in Arabic, it means a methodology. Right? It's a way of approaching the religion? Like, how do you understand the religion? You understand? All of the Salaf used to talk about following the Salaf. All of them, right?
I agree.
You understand? So this is what we're doing. We're saying to follow the Salaf, right? Now, as for calling yourself Salafi, it didn't start with Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah. Even it started, we know it started before Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, right? So, but Ibn Taymiyyah, what he said is that there is no blame on the one who attaches himself to the madhhab of the Salaf and attaches it with the yawa wa nisba, meaning to say I am Salafi, right? He said that explicitly. And he said, rather, it is wajib to accept that from him because the madhhab of the Salaf can be nothing but the truth. You understand? The word Salaf, it means somebody who came before. So when we say Salaf, we're talking about the Salaf Salih, right? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, خَيْرَ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَعْلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَعْلُونَهُمْ, right? He said the best of mankind is my generation, then those who follow them, then those who follow them. So we call these three generations the Salaf Salih. You understand? So when Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah was explaining this, he was saying that you have to differentiate yourself from the Ahlul Bid'ah, right? The people who are upon Bid'ah. And how you do that, you just say you're Salafi. Like you when somebody's asking you, for example, if I ask you, okay, like what are you? And then you say, I'm Muslim, right? Is saying I'm Muslim enough? It's just saying I'm Muslim. Right? Is that enough? And the answer is no, it's not enough. How can it be enough? Muslim like who? Muslim like Nation of Islam, Muslim like the Qadianis, Muslim like Cave, right? And then you say, for example, Mathalan, okay, I am Muslim, but I am Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, right? Like we were having this conversation, right? Ahlul Sunnah Jama'ah like who? Like the Naqshbandiya, like the Qadariya, like who? You know what I mean? No, I mean I'm following the Quran and the Sunnah with the understanding of the Sahaba and the Tabi'in and the Tabi. So instead of giving somebody a lecture, why don't you just say I'm Salafi and Khalas, right?
Okay. So with that being said, which goes into that first question. Why do the Salafiyya differentiate themselves with the term Salafiyya? That's a good explanation. The issue with that statement, and I'm familiar with it, I can't find it in any book. I can't find it on any YouTube video from any of the namely Salafi scholars. When I ask those questions, I just get attacked by the Salafi brothers like, oh, you're a deviant, you're a Sufi. That's all they ever say. That's why sometimes I'll start to post like, okay, I'm a deviant, na'udhu, and I'm a Sufi. Okay, now let's get to the meat on the bone. How so I don't want to get into Naqshbandi and all of that. That's a whole different video. We talking about Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali. That's like agreed upon. Nobody the Naqshbandi and all that stuff we don't even get started. You can't even put them in the same sense. These things are approved. So my thing is, what were they teaching the Salafi community as to when you say we follow the blessed Qurun, the blessed generations, but Ibn Taymiyyah was not from the blessed generations. Imam Malik was. Imam Abu Hanifa was. Imam Shafi'i was. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal was. So why do the Salafiyya put up Taqiyuddin and kind of just like put to the side the actual Salaf?
Again, this
they were the actual Salaf.
Yeah, this right here is like what we call is su fahm, right? It's like a misunderstanding with terminology. You understand? It's a misunderstanding with the terminology.
Mm.
Because what we're saying, we're not calling to the following of individuals. Let's say, for example, like me and you, we're brothers in Islam. Khalas, right? You are Ashari, I'm assuming, right? You're Ashari, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're Ashari, I'm Salafi, okay? My Akida is Salafi, your Akida is Ashari. You understand? The Salafi approach is that we are accepting the truth wherever it comes from. That's the Salafi approach. If it comes from an Ashari, if it's true, if it's an authentic hadith, authentic narration, we're looking at the actual, like the content, like the context of the content. You know what I mean? This is what we're looking at. We're not looking at necessarily who's bringing it. We're only about the truth, right? What the people that you see now, who are calling themselves Salafi, and your Musbil and whatnot, and this generation who calls themselves Salafi, they themselves don't understand Salafiyah. You understand? They don't understand that you can't just call yourself Salafi and that makes you Salafi. You understand?
Explain.
Just because I say I am Salafi, it doesn't mean that I am Salafi. But now they have turned the manhaj into a firqa. They turned the methodology into a group. You understand? And it's not a group. You say, for example, back in the day, we say, I'm Salafi, inshallah. You know what I mean? We hope to be Salafi. We hope to be upon the Quran and the Sunnah with the understanding of the Sahaba and whatnot, and the Prophet says, we hope to be on that understanding. You understand? These guys, they say it as like a badge of honor, almost. Like, I'm not you.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand?
That's true. And
that's not how Salafi is supposed to be used. It's not supposed to be used like that. It's supposed to be used to distinguish your methodology in approaching the religion, but not to make a group.
So how come Sheikh Albani didn't just pick one of the actual Salaf and say X, Y, and Z, this is how it is?
What do you mean?
Why did he leave it wide open? Because the problem is when you say I follow the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf, that is the most broad and general statement ever. You can't, I don't understand, because I'm a Madh-habi. I don't understand how you can progress in your deen if you just put that, like, your practice in the whole array of the Salaf. Because, there were tens of thousands of Salaf. So what that's why, like, in the comments earlier, when you said it's a minhaj, not fiqh, I said, well, how can you have a minhaj without fiqh? For the Madh-habi people, the minhaj is fiqh. So when you go through, when you learning things, like when I first took my kalima shahada, like, they gave me fiqh. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. You say this. You don't say that. You boom, 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 boom. That's a methodology. This is your approach and your practice of Islam. The problem that we're having is if we got a lot of people saying that to us, like, we follow the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the
Sahaba. They're just talking, Akhi. Like, they heard about Salafi. They heard about Salafi yesterday.
So break it down for me. Like,
yeah.
So what,
those
like,
brothers heard about Salafi
issues, like when you gotta do something, because Islam is about action. When you gotta do a particular
what you gotta understand is
who do y'all take from?
What you gotta understand is those brothers, they heard about Islam yesterday, right? They became Salafi this morning, and now they telling you what to do this evening. You understand?
And giving fatwa the day after that.
Yeah, and they're giving fatwa the day after that. So they're just it's a type of overzealousness, but they're being steered in a certain direction by nefarious groups, and they don't know that. They don't know that. You understand? So
I agree.
And as I said, the Salafi is a manhaj, right?
So what?
There's a
Define for
difference.
me the methodology.
There's
I
a
don't
difference
understand that.
between manhaj, right, and a madhhab. It's not the same thing.
Explain to me the
You
difference.
feel me?
I don't understand it.
Because manhaj is your approach in how to like practice the religion.
Give me an example.
Your madhhab is a school of thought. I'll give you an example. Like, for example, Sheikh
within the madhabs is the approach.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. The best fiqh book I've ever read on Salat is actually written by Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah. Right? It's an amazing, the best by far. You know what I mean? It's totally amazing.
Why you say that? Because like the people of the madhabs, like not being funny, they laugh at it. Like it's like so non-scholarly.
We're not getting into the personality of it. You see, because this personality stuff, right? This is what causes you when you like. I want you guys to understand something. When you find people talking about people a lot, trying to steer you in a certain direction, that's when they're trying to play you. You understand? If they're not quoting a lot of ayats of Quran and hadith, you know what I mean? Like these type of things, but they telling you about people, then they trying to make your religion about people. Islam just got here in the West. You feel me?
Okay, and the reason why, example of that, because I really want to know
the reason why,
I ain't been funny. I'm just saying, like
the reason why I said
our
that,
side of the game, we literally laugh at that book.
Yeah,
because imagine now we are taken from Malik, Shafi'i, so Al-Albani is like the reason, not even in the same world of them.
The reason why I said that is because the Shaykh rahimahullah, he gave the the position, whatever, and he gives the hadith, and he gives the position, he gives the hadith. I've never seen that before in any fiqh book. I've never seen that before, and I've read a lot of Salat fiqh books. You understand?
You never read the
so he's using. It's the first time I'm reading this book, and he's describing it with hadith, right? So that's why I said that. You understand? Despite what's your opinions of our Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah, you have to understand why somebody would steer you this way and steer you that way. You understand? So the reason why, and this is the point. The point is that that's a fiqh book, right? But he didn't use the fiqh of the madhahib.
Okay, that's not true.
You understand?
That's not true. That's not true.
He used the fiqh of whatchamacallit, the Salaf. And khalas, that was it. And he outlines in the back of the book, if I have it here, no, it's upstairs.
Okay, so
I can read directly.
Let me say this about that. This is where we have a problem. And you say it's about truth. So inshallah ta'ala, I'm gonna try to share this with you. And I have found that this is something that a lot of Salafi.
Okay, bro, before you start, I don't want to go all over the place.
Go ahead.
The only reason why I mentioned this is as an example, right, to show you that his methodology, right, in writing the fiqh book was using the methodology of the Salaf. You understand? But it's not a manhaj book. It's a fiqh book. That's it. That's my point. Right? What your feelings about Sheikh Albani, rahimullah, is some side issue. We don't need to get into that. You understand?
Yeah. Okay.
You understand? So now,
let me stop you there because and then I remember your point that you was going to continue with. Okay. This is the contention. Like we laugh at that for what you just said because he did not do it in a fashion according to the way of the Salaf. You have to remember a hadith comes from the chains. You have to sit with the muhaddith and take from the muhaddith. Al-Albani never did that. He took from the hadith books that already existed. And those individuals. Hold on, hear me out.
Who was Sheikh Albani rahimahullah? Who's his first teacher?
I don't know. I as far as my research. Hold that thought. Let me
see this is why I said leave the personality stuff alone.
No. I won't say his name. I'll just say the name of the book. I'll just say the name of the book.
Because what you're saying is actually it's incorrect. It's incorrect. And that's why I said when people start talking about other people, right? And they trying to
forget that.
Yeah.
Answer this for me. Don't you have that book handy? I got it in this room. I can go grab it. You got it handy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, give me an example. Go open up the book, find one of his fiqh anywhere in the book, and then look at the reference and see what and tell us what the reference is. Like where he got the fiqh position.
What do you mean where you got
open the book up randomly and where it says how to make wudu? There's a wudu section in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go in the wudu section, and when he said do X,
I just told you he took the hadith. You understand? He put the chapter, he took the hadith and he described it with the hadith. You understand?
So this is the problem. You said
why is that?
He didn't do it according to one of the madhabs or schools, or he did it according
to
the hadith.
Now this is a different thing. Okay.
It's the same. Hold on, listen what I'm saying to you. This is why we're saying it's incorrect.
Okay, leave Albani for a minute. Leave Albani for a second.
Let me bring that point in.
Hold on. Just leave Albani for a second, right? What you're telling me, right, is that it is wajib to follow fiqh, correct?
It's not wajib, it's fardh.
It's fardh. You're saying it's fardh. Okay, khalas. Fardh is what exactly?
Like it's mandatory.
No, I mean like
you have no Islam without it.
Okay, because I don't say it's fardh. Okay, but
why not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Tu'minu billahi wa rasulihi wa tujahiduna fi sabilillah."
Jazakallah khair.
Wa aqimu salat wa atu zakah. How are you going to aqimu salat?
Jazakallah khair. Okay, listen.
That's not in the Quran.
Listen.
How are you going to add zakah?
I don't say it's fardh. You say following a madhhab is fardh, right?
No. I mean, no. All right, hold on. Let's slow down. Okay. We get there. I want to speak on what you said. I want to stay focused. We have a problem with Al-Albani. Some of our brothers and sisters, the Salafi brothers and sisters, they adulate Al-Albani. The vast majority, like I don't know any scholar that's a part of the chain linked back to the Prophet ﷺ that accepts Al-Albani. I don't know any.
Jazakallah khair, brother.
So I said that to say this. We got an issue. So
Jazakallah khair. My point wasn't about Albani.
Let me bring this point.
Please. My point wasn't about Albani, and I said before that we're not going to get into the personalities of it.
Okay,
right? Because if we do that, then I can do this thing, and it's not going to go anything. Let's get to the meat of the issue. Let's get to the meat of the issue.
Let me comment.
The meat of the issue is okay. Go ahead.
You ain't giving me a chance to talk.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I gotta get this out because this is what the meat on the bone is.
Okay.
Like I want you to hear what I'm about to say, and I want you to address it. I'm gonna give you a chance to talk.
Okay,
I want you to address it. I'm telling you, like I'm bringing up the problems, and we have to look at it and say, like, if I'm wrong, you got to hear what I'm saying first before you can tell me I'm wrong and we got it wrong. Then I can go back to my folks and be like, man, we was wrong the whole time. It's like this. Now we friends. But if I don't get it out, you can't correct me if I don't get it out. So this the problem. So the fiqh book from him or whoever else, all of them. I'm Bin Baz, Uthaymeen, Al-Albani, all the big ones, all of them. They all kind of do the same thing. So we don't have to just say Albani. It's kind of all like the same. We got fiqh. Then you got the hadith. So you said he grabbed the hadith and then he brought the fiqh. He didn't grab the hadith. He opened up the hadith books that already existed from the hadith scholars and mixed it up and said, do wudu like this, do salah like this. So he outranked people who outrank him, which is wrong. You can't do that. He took from all of the 6 collections and a lot from the Sahihain. All of them follow the madhhab. All of them were Hanbali and Shafi'i scholars, save Imam Malik. Imam Abu Hanifa, he just got the al-fiqh al-akbar. So it's kind of a mix of hadith and fiqh. It's really like what you saying. I don't know if you ever read that before, but al-fiqh al-akbar, that's like, it ain't nothing like that really. But as far as hadith collections, you got the Muwatta Imam Malik. Of course, that's a Maliki fiqh / hadith book. And then all of the rest of them, 99% of the rest of them are Shafi'i scholars, and those hadiths are put together according to that minhaj. And then you got Imam Ahmad. So that when I made the post in the group, I said, can y'all bring me a Salafi fiqh book? I don't mean a person who says that they are Salafi and then they take the Hanbali fiqh books or the Shafi'i fiqh books or the Maliki fiqh books and say, okay, this is the Salafi manhaj. It's not. It's the Hanbali manhaj. It's the Shafi'i manhaj. It's the Maliki manhaj. That's my point. And what I'm saying, why are the Salafiyah, if they are part of the actual Salaf and they are following the actual Salaf, that was the 4 Imams. They lived in that time period. Taqiyuddin did not live in that time period. Ibn Jawziyah did not live in that time period. Bin Baz, Al-Albani, go on down the list. Sheikh Rabi', none of them lived in that time period. So the problem is, why are they changing the terminology? And when somebody says Maliki or I'm Maliki. When I say I'm Maliki, I'm not saying I adulate Imam Malik. What we're saying is Malik took from Nafi', Nafi' took from Abdullah ibn Umar.
Jazakallah khair, Abdul Kabir, hayakallah, my brother. Honestly, we could have avoided all of that, right? Because I'm just going to say the same thing anyways, right? And again, you're getting into the personality of Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah, and that's not the problem. The problem is not whether or not you like Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah, whether or not he's using Hanbali fiqh, or that's not the issue. The issue is you believe in taqlid, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, khalas. That's the issue.
Okay, why is that an issue?
So now that's the meat, right?
Hold up.
Because otherwise we'll be going to be talking about.
Wait. Al-Albani gave you taqlid.
Takfa. Right?
No, is that true? Is that yes or no?
Please.
Are you not making taqlid with Al-Albani?
Let me finish. Because we could have avoided all of that. Wallahi, we could have. Right? Uqsum billah, we could have avoided all of that, right? So
I don't think we could have.
The issue is taqlid. The issue is it wajib to follow a madhhab or not?
This is a different issue. The conversation.
No, this is the same issue because your problem with Albani, rahimahullah, if you break it down to the bare essentials, is that why didn't he make taqlid of a madhhab when he made the Salat book? Correct?
No, he did. That's what I'm telling you.
Even if he did, even if he did, let's say I agree with you. Let's say I agree.
He took the hadith. He took a hadith that was graded by Tirmidhi and used it. That's taqlid. He didn't take the actual hadith. That's taqlid.
Let's say I agree with you, right? That for argument's sake, that Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah, made taqlid of a madhhab, right? You're saying now that he took the hadith and he put it in his book, but he didn't follow a madhhab. So either way, it goes right back to taqlid. You understand?
No,
you said that. Rewind it.
No, you confused about what I said.
And you went into the law.
Let me be clear about what I'm saying.
Okay.
The whole taqlid argument is like propaganda. I believe it's that type of propaganda what you said in the beginning, but it's
What?
the reverse. They were telling the Salafia to not make taqlid to the four madhabs because they had all the power and the influence. Come over here and follow
Is this what
us.
Sheikh Albani rahimahullah said?
That's don't taqlid.
Is this what Sheikh Albani rahimahullah said?
No, I said this is what I believe. I said that already.
Okay.
So I'm saying I'm playing out to you what happened
from the statements.
when
from
you
the
take
statements.
taqlid, the only person who does not make taqlid is a mujtahid, mutlaq. That's the only person that does it. Everything and everybody else does.
From this statement here, from which alim and their lectures did you get this idea from? To bring the power from the muqallidun to the non-muqallidun.
I told you already. That's my belief. That's my assessment of
looking
at the situation.
The reason why I'm asking you, my dear brother, is because we want this conversation to remain as objective as possible.
Absolutely.
Right. So I can't deal with, you know what I mean, like something that's purely subjective. You feel me? I can't. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Listen. So I want you to deal with this.
Yeah.
The definition of taqlid is in Islam. This is the definition of taqlid. If you are not a mujtahid mutlaq, you must make taqlid. That's unanimous and all of the scholars have said
So now you're saying it is wajib to make taqlid of a madhhab, correct?
Yes.
Of a madhhab. That is different.
If you are not a mujtahid.
If you're not mujtahid. Okay. That is different from telling a layman from making taqlid of an alim. That is not the same thing.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It is not the same thing.
I don't
you understand?
I don't understand.
Because Allah says in the Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلُ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. There are two parts to this, right? The first is the فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلُ الذِّكْرِ, to ask the people of knowledge. Who are the ones asking? Who are the people that are asking?
That's a general statement. We're taught that belongs to everybody.
I'm asking you. Everybody's asking?
That's what we're taught.
What does Allah say in the Quran? Who are the people that are asking? Who are they?
The laymen.
That's the ayah. It's in there in the ayah.
The people who don't know.
The people who don't know. So when
the same thing.
Please. When whatchamacallit? When the Tabi'een were asking the Sahaba questions because they didn't know. And according to you, not me, okay? According to you, it is wajib for ami, non-mujtahid, right? To take a madhab and to follow a madhab. That's your statement. So when the Tabi'i were asking the Sahaba questions about things they didn't know, which madhab were the Sahaba following?
Very good question. And I'm glad you brought that up because I deal with this. I've been dealing with this for so long, and I've been waiting for one person to tell me something different than I've always heard all of these years.
Go ahead.
You know what they were all following?
What?
The same madhab. This is why I always ask. I'm gonna answer the question. This is what. So the madhab of Imam Malik is the madhab of Umar. Remember, I told y'all. I've been saying. I don't know if you've seen the post or not. Knowledge starts with the isnad. A Muslim said that. Unless anybody can say anything, you have to have an isnad. The people of the four schools.
Notice
I'm answering the question. The people of the four schools, we have an isnad. We have a chain link. So what the Prophet Muhammad was doing, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was the same thing that Imam Malik was doing. And I think he has a better say-so than Al-Albani because there was only two people between this is how we look at it. Imam Malik saw somebody who saw the prophet. Matter of fact, they all saw the prophet. Nafi seen the prophet. Abdullah ibn Umar definitely seen the prophet, and that's a no-brainer. So when Imam Malik said one thing or another, that was not. They even call Imam Malik's that's slang to say, "Hey, I'm a Maliki." And if you've been dealing with fiqh for a little bit, we should know that they call us the Madh-hab Ahlul Medina. Malik didn't take from, a thousand years difference of scholars like Al-Albani claims. He took from
Al-Albani claimed that?
He took, I mean, if he's a scholar, he had to take from somebody, right?
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. There's thousands of people between Al-Albani and the prophet. I'm gonna take the guy that had only two people.
I noticed the question was I asked you which
that's the answer to the question.
Which madhab.
It was all the same.
So you're telling me on your live, and I want to respect you. I want to respect you.
Listen, hold on. Let me say let me answer the question. Okay. What Imam Malik was doing was the same thing the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu was doing. What Shafi'i did was the same thing the Prophet Sallallahu was doing. What Imam Ahmad was doing was the same thing, etc., etc. They transmitted. When Ibn al-Qasim asked Imam Malik about folding the hands in the prayer, he said, "I've never seen this." He said, "I've never seen this." Mind you, that's a man that got ijazat from 900 different tabi'in, not scholars, not learned people. Tabi'in. This is who Imam Malik was. He said he didn't start giving fatwa until he got like 70-something odd approvals. That's heavy, huh?
My brother Abdul, I have to stop you here because I just asked you a small question, right? And it's a really simple answer, right? I asked you which madhab were because you said it was wajib. I didn't say it was wajib. I asked you which madhab were the Sahaba following. I didn't ask you. Well, please. I let you speak. I didn't ask you which madhab Imam Malik, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, and Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal were following. I asked you which madhab were the Sahaba following. And are you telling
answer to that question?
Please.
I answered you. You didn't hear my answer?
Please.
You didn't hear my answer?
Please. You told me about this isnad and blah blah blah.
So,
and Imam Malik.
So all of what I said,
and Imam Malik,
and I said it was all the same.
Took from, and then took from
Umar. Okay. Listen.
That is Imam Malik.
Okay. Listen.
Are you saying that Umar al-Khattab is Maliki? Is this what you're saying?
Say what?
Is Umar ibn Khattab Maliki? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying.
Okay,
no.
Okay.
I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
Malik. I'm saying Malik was Umari.
Okay, so
I'm saying Malik was Imam Umari. He followed the madhab of Umar.
Yes.
That was
where did Imam Malik rahimahullah say this?
Say what?
From his direct statements. Where did Imam Malik rahimahullah say this? From his direct statements.
I don't know if those direct statements, but
those why my brother.
Those are statements that were all of the salaf, the actual salaf.
Yeah.
That's what they called him.
Yeah,
they called his methodology the methodology of Umar. So he was pious.
That's what the people called them, and I
don't want you to get tricky with the words.
That's
pious enough not to say it about himself.
The people say this, and people say a lot of things.
It's a
you understand?
No, you can't deny what scholars in the time of the Tabi'in said.
Jazakallah khair. I'm just asking very, very small.
Don't ask a loaded question.
It's not loaded. It
is loaded.
Okay.
It's loaded if you try to flip it around.
It's not flipping around. It's an easy question.
I'm saying that Umar followed Malik. That's not even possible. I'm saying Malik followed Umar.
Because what was the original question?
What madhab did the Sahaba follow?
Okay, and then your
told
answer,
you the same madhab that the four imams followed.
So therefore, you're telling me that the Sahaba were upon the madhab of Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal. I don't want to put words in it.
Absolutely.
So, therefore, Umar Khattab was a Maliki.
For semantics' sake, yes.
It's not semantics.
For semantics,
it's not semantics. Sake. And I say, no,
okay.
no.
Hey, okay, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If Umar taught his son to pray with the hands to the side, and then Umar taught that to Nafi to pray with the hands to the side, and then Nafi taught that to Malik to pray with the hands to the side, are they not all doing the same thing?
If this was the case, then ala khashmi.
No.
I'm not finished.
That was transmitted. That's not if. There's no if there, Ak.
No problem. No problem. If that was the case, ala khashmi, ala rasi, I will accept it. Lashak, of course. We'll take it. We'll accept it. No problem.
So it's semantical.
No, it's not semantics. You have to prove that
they were doing the same thing.
The onus of proof is on the claimant. If you can prove with an authentic chain that this is the case, then class, we'll accept it. No problem.
Okay. All right, done.
It's no problem. That's our madhab.
Okay, so take it back. So take it back to this. Why do if they claim that if the Salafi claim that they're following the actual Salaf, how come they're not following the actual Salaf, but they're following guys that did not live in the Salaf in the time of the Salaf?
What does the word Salaf mean?
It means the people who succeeded the Tabi'in, that generation. That's it.
It means the people that came before you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what does Allah? What is the meaning of fas'alu ahlu dhikri in kuntum la ta'lamun mean?
We discussed that.
It means ask the people of knowledge if you do not know. Every generation has its people of knowledge. You understand? These people of knowledge are the ones who know best what the Salaf did. You understand?
Absolutely.
Therefore, you ask the people of knowledge in your time.
Yeah. And there were plenty Malikis in the time of Al-Albani. that's my reservation. Why did he go and do his own thing when the Sunnah was established?
Brother, you're going into the personality. You're going into the personality of the thing, and actually,
because you brought his personality to the surface. You
I
was
giving you
book I read was the one by Al-Albani.
Yes, I was giving you an example to show you that the manhaj is not. Like the question that you asked on the Facebook about give me a Salafi fiqh book, right? It's not making sense because Salafi is a minhaj. Just like saying, give me the fiqh of Balaga or something. I told you this. What is fiqh of Balaga? It's not connecting. That was my point.
No,
you can disagree with me if you want, but go through the internet and find the people that are asking for Salafi fiqh books, and it's like how you're asking.
That's why it's not existing, because there are none.
And you happen to be the first person in history to ask it because it doesn't make sense, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
All right, that's semantics. We can leave that alone. Okay. That's just playing with words. That's just playing with words. Because what we think is a Salafi is not what y'all think is a Salafi.
Yeah, because you have bad experience with Salafis.
No, because what we say the Salaf is, like what the Ahl Madh-habi say the Salaf is that generation following those three blessed generations. That's what we call the Salaf. And then the ones after that, we call that the Khalaf. We call those, we even distinguish that so that people don't get that twisted. We got, because they all hold rank. The Khalaf are ahead of everybody now. The Salaf was ahead of all of the Khalaf. And the Tabi'in, etc., etc. We won't want to get it twisted because we uphold the preservation of the chain of, not the chain of the Isnad, the chain of narration. There is no Islam. That's the problem. There is no Islam if there is no Isnad.
Okay,
the are not subscribing to you can't subscribe to 10 different asani. You can't, because Shafi'i says if you touch a woman, your wudu is broke. Imam Malik says it's not broke. So when the Salafiya say, "Oh, follow the Muwatta Imam Malik," also here's another good fiqh book. Follow the Risala Imam Shafi, and that's not a fiqh book. That's an usul fiqh book. That's not his actual fiqh book. That's not a Shafi'i fiqh book. So if you try to tell people to follow a Maliki fiqh and Shafi'i fiqh at the same time, you mixing up the usuliyat. You mixing it all up. They had different approaches and different styles. We believe that all of them are legit and they are correct. You only have the capacity to subscribe to one. Which goes to what we moving into. Is it fard or wajib or mandatory or whatever or not mandatory to follow a madhab? I say yes semantically, because unless you have complete knowledge in the hadith, unless you have complete knowledge of the Quran, tilawa, unless you have complete knowledge in Fusha Arabic, and the scholars have even said not just Fusha, the Kufi script of Arabic, the dialect that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, unless you have acceptable knowledge in that, unless you have acceptable knowledge in the fatwa of the Sahaba, unless you have acceptable knowledge of the fatwa of the Tabi'een, unless you have acceptable knowledge of the Tabi'een, and then you get to the Salaf. Unless you have that, you got to follow a madhab, bucko, because those before you, they had that knowledge. So how does not have that knowledge? This is my question. How can a person who does not have complete knowledge, acceptable knowledge in these fields, challenge the individuals that did have this knowledge and say, brother, I have the hadith right here in Sahih Bukhari, when the people of the madhab were the individuals that invented Sahih Bukhari? So the Salafi are taking the material that the Ahl Madhahib created and trying to use it against them. Say, brother, I got the hadith right here in Sahih Bukhari.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Abdul Kabir.
Put those hadiths in that book.
Abdul Kabir, Jazakallah khair, right? You're saying that the isnad, there's no religion without isnad, correct?
Are we going to that, or are we going to is it mandatory?
You said a lot of things, Akhi.
Okay, so which one? Where we at? We on the isnad, or I was saving the isnad for last because that was like
because you said a lot of things. You said so many things. You said
I brought up the is it mandatory to follow a madhab, and I say yes because you have to have acceptable knowledge.
That's what you want. That's
what did the Salafiya say about that?
It's mandatory to follow a method, correct? That's what you say, right?
Okay, says yes.
It's wajib. Okay, type.
It's mandatory.
Wajib. Yeah. Mandatory.
No. Well, we distinguish between wajib and wajib and follow.
Okay, so you're saying
you get a punishment if you don't do it. Wajib is like
Okay, you're telling me
reason you shouldn't be doing it.
You're telling me that Allah will punish me if I don't follow a method, correct?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You just said it was fard though.
It is fard.
So that means that fard is the things from the Quran.
That's not what I'm saying.
Fard is the things from the Quran. So there's no way out of it.
It's not that simple.
If you don't do it, that's what fard means.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
When Allah Ta'ala says, "Wa aqimus salah wa atu zakah,"
yeah,
you don't have a muhaddith that you can go to that you've been taking from and that you've been memorizing all of the hadith, the acceptable, the non-acceptable, that whole crazy situation of the hadith. You don't have the capacity to go to a muhaddith and memorize all of that and then go and act on what you've memorized and what you've learned. You don't have that capacity. Like the muhaddithun don't even exist right now. They don't exist. All we have is what they put down, so it's impossible. You can't say that you could. If you can find me a muhaddith, not a person that has ijazah in the hadith. Salafiyah, they mix that up all the time. Somebody came and asked Imam Ahmad, is a person a muhaddith if he memorizes 100,000 hadith? Imam Ahmad said no. He said 200,000? He said no. Name me one scholar that you know knows more than 250,000 hadith?
First, the onus of proof again is on the claimant. You understand? You made the claim that Imam Ahmed made the statement. Then I would ask you, right, for where the isnad is. As you said, the isnad is a part of the religion. You understand? This is what I wanted to avoid. I wanted to avoid dancing all over the place. You understand? The main thing is that you're saying that following a madhab is wajib and it's fard, right? If it is wajib and it is fard, that necessitates that if I don't do it, then I'm sinning against Allah. Correct? Yes or no?
For semantics' sake, yes.
Okay. So now it is upon you to prove from either the Quran or the Sunnah that it is wajib or fard.
So you didn't understand what I just said?
I did, but you didn't prove your point. You didn't prove your point. If I say now,
let me put it a little bit more simple.
Please, exactly. It's getting late.
Hold up now.
It's getting late. It's getting late. Just let me finish. Let me finish my point. Okay. If I say now that is wajib for every Muslim to do the splits, they must do the splits in Islam. A Muslim can't be a Muslim unless he knows how to do the splits. What are you going to ask me?
Where's the proof?
Thank you. And from then, I have to prove either from the Quran or the Sunnah, either Allah saying, and the Muslims must do the splits, right, or a hadith saying,
I got you. Let me know when I can answer that question.
Now, when you're quoting these ayat of Quran, and these are general ayat, okay, and you specify that these ayat mean the four imams, then you must bring dalil to prove that. And what we say is that no, it is not wajib to follow a madhab. What is wajib to follow the ulama? Yes, you must. And see that face that you're making right now. Look.
I'm just surprised.
Yes, hold on.
I didn't mean to offend you. I'm just surprised.
No, it's not offensive. But I want to show you something, right? The reason why you made that face, right, is because you have conceptualized in your head. You made a parallel that an alim is a faqih and a faqih is an alim, correct?
Somewhat. You somewhat
yes.
Correct.
So you cannot.
I was going to be more general and say a scholar.
You cannot be an alim without being a faqih, and you cannot be a faqih without. That's why you made that face, because now. No.
Let me be clear.
Please.
Don't say that. Please let me speak, brother. You can't tell me I said something and I didn't say it. Don't do that. I'm saying no.
Oh, explain.
I'm saying no. I'm not saying that. You can't tell me in a very nice way that that's what I'm saying. And I'm
what are you saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
But you were kind of close. Because we specify between an alim and a faqih. We the people of the madhabs, we specify between the two. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, if a person is an alim, then I made that face because if a person is an alim, he got to belong to a madhab, one of the four madhabs, and I can prove that. So when you finish and you let me talk, I'll prove both your points. I'm with you. I got to prove that that it's mandatory to follow a madhab, and I got to prove what I just said, that if you are an alim, you got to belong to a madhab. I'm with you. So let me know when I can go.
Furthermore, you said that there's no Islam without the isnad, correct?
Absolutely.
And there's no, without isnad, you don't have Islam.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
There's a couple of things here, right? I'm with you with the isnad and its importance, right? It's absolutely necessary for the preservation of the deen, of the religion. Which came first, the religion or the isnad?
They were synonymous.
They weren't synonymous. No, the religion came.
So I got three things I got to prove to you.
The religion came first, right? The deen came first. The isnad came after.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah. Well,
okay.
I mean, that's why I say it's synonymous.
Furthermore,
because what they transmitted was the deen. So
yes, exactly.
So
furthermore,
where are you going with that?
What I'm trying to tell you is that you will not find a hadith with Imam Abu Hanifa in it.
What do you mean?
But no problem. Quote me one.
Like in the chain?
Yeah, quote me one.
Wow.
Quote me one.
Subhanallah. They never taught you that?
No problem. Just quote me one right now. You're
okay.
the one. You're the one who's telling me that Isnad is from the religion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
do you know any hadith with the Isnad?
No.
Okay.
No, but I know that they exist. So I know Imam Abu Hanifa's chain. So he transmitted hadith.
Mm-hmm. No problem. No problem. Is it in Bukhari?
I'm sorry.
Are his hadith in Bukhari?
Not particularly.
Are they in Muslim?
Not particularly.
Are they in Tirmidhi?
Okay, hold on. Time out. Let's take a break.
Are they in?
Time out.
I'm asking you.
I'm swinging my objection hammer, my imaginary one.
Right? Because
that's apples and oranges. Hold up.
It's not. Please.
Hold up. Hold up. You gotta let me get a word in. You just made
go ahead.
three different points. Now I gotta respond to three different things, not one. I gotta respond to three. So you gotta let me get in here sooner or later.
No problem.
Real quick, what you just said is any of Imam Abu Hanifa's hadith? I don't know. I'm pretty sure they are. Imam Bukhari came after a long time after Imam Abu Hanifa. So Imam Abu Hanifa has the second highest chain of narration. So
no problem.
Okay. So Imam Abu Hanifa does they did bring us hadith. Now, Imam Bukhari, Imam Sahih Bukhari.
Anybody in the comments, please. I'm willing to change my mind. Just give me a hadith from the authentic hadith books.
You're not listening.
Abu Hanifa's in the chain. That's it.
You're not listening. You comparing apples and oranges. The Fiqh al-Akbar has Abu Hanifa's name all over it. You'll find many hadith that are sound and of other conditions that are in Fiqh al-Akbar. Imam Bukhari was a Shafi'i. Why would he transmit hadiths that supported the Hanafi viewpoint? And vast majority of the Sahih was not fiqh. They were narrations. The Sahih is only a collection of sound narrations according to the criteria of Bukhari and according to the criteria of Muslim. There are Sahih hadith that are in Muslim that are not in Bukhari. Does that make Bukhari wrong? No.
This is not my question.
There's not. There are sound hadiths that are in Bukhari that are not in Muslim. Does that make Muslim wrong? No. So a hadith narrator, I don't think like the Salafi have a good understanding of what the muhaddithun are.
It's no problem. If you want to prove me wrong, just bring me
I don't know.
Just bring me any hadith with the authentic chain. A hadith.
Go find a copy of Fiqh al-Akbar.
Authentic chain with Abu Hanifa rahimahullah in the chain. That's it. Come on. Argument over. Anybody in the comments can do it.
Listen,
because you are saying that it's not a religion, right? So that's why I brought that up. Because you're saying it's not a religion at one point, and it's wajib to follow a madhab on another point.
Listen what I'm saying.
You feel me?
Listen what I'm saying to you.
There's a contradiction here.
Imam Abu Hanifa, his hadith with his name in the chain is in his book and his works. The one I know of that's most famous is Fiqh al-Akbar. You want to see a hadith with Abu Hanifa's name in it? Go find a copy of Fiqh al-Akbar.
Authentic hadith.
What?
Authentic. There's a big difference.
Did they not teach y'all who Abu Hanifa is? How can he have the second highest chain of narration and not have authentic hadith?
No problem.
How can he have the second highest chain of narration?
How many hadith do you know in Abu Hanifa's Fiqh al-Akbar? How many of them do you know? Can you quote anyone right now?
I don't know any of them.
Okay, but now.
But I know that's in there.
My question, really, all it is please.
But you asked a loaded question as if
it's not a loaded question.
Didn't transmit hadith.
It's not a loaded question.
Okay. So do you believe Imam Abu Hanifa transmitted sound hadith?
No. It's not my belief. It's not my belief.
Stop for the face, not you. What you
I'm
say?
not a muhaddith.
I'm
not a muhaddith. But again, that's
all right. Okay.
That's neither here nor there, right?
It is because you asked the question. So listen,
the reason why did I ask the question?
I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. Imam Abu Hanifa, when I say the second highest chain of narration, that's hadith.
I believe you. Second highest chain.
I know it's chain.
I'm asking just one.
What relevance that have if I know it or not? It's there. It exists. Look, if I don't know it, it don't mean that it don't exist. I don't know. I'm not
anybody in the chat.
That don't mean it don't exist.
Anybody in the chat. Anybody from your teachers. No problem. No problem.
I got big Hanafi sheikhs on speed dial. So if it just takes that to make you a Hanafi, wallahi ta'ala, I'll get you 10 of them. I'll get the whole book for you, wallahi. I'll buy you the book. If that
no problem. Okay, my whole point.
Back to the issue. Starting with the first one. Mm-hmm. When I say it is to follow a madhab, I'm making the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you to aqimu salah wa atu zakat, when he commanded us to do things, those fara'id, all those things that we commanded to do, how do you go about doing it? Mm-hmm. When you need to find out, when it says establish the salah, when you have to learn the adhan, you have to learn wudu. Nabi alayhi salatu said there's no salah without wudu. And he said, Allah said that in the Quran. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that in the hadith. And in neither statements were you taught how to make salah nor how to make wudu. So what's the next step? I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded me as farad that I must aqimu salah. How do I aqimu salah? Ya'ani, it is impossible for you to grab a hadith that a madh-habi didn't touch. No. Let me rephrase. For you to touch a hadith that a person from a madhhab did not bring you. When you want to learn salah, you go to Sahih Bukhari. He was a Shafi'i. You want to learn hadith, you go to the Kitab al-Wudu, and Sahih Muslim, he was a Shafi'i. Muslim was Bukhari's student. You want some statements with Imam Malik's name in the hadith? Go and read Al-Muwatta'a, who Imam Bukhari. Do you know what Imam Bukhari said about the Muwatta'a? Do you know what he said? We all push up Bukhari and Sahih Bukhari. Do you know what Bukhari, your beloved Bukhari, said about the Muwatta'a? He said that was the most sound book of hadith in existence after the Quran. Sorry, he said the most sound book in existence after the Quran. Bukhari himself said that.
Yeah.
So if you open up the Muwatta, I forget the chains in it. Subhanallah, one of the scholars inside of the what you call it, but it's only Imam Malik's transmissions. The same difference with the Fiqh al-Akbar. It was a political situation why Bukhari and Muslim got adulated, and the vast majority of those, like, they didn't collect those books to be fiqh books. Those were collections for sound hadith books. So when I say it's mandatory, I say yes, it's mandatory, because when Allah commanded you to make salah, you need to go and find out how do you make salah. When you go and look at how you gotta make salah, you either have to go to the pathway of Imam Ahmad, or you got to go the pathway of Imam Shafi'i, or you got to go the pathway of Imam Abu Hanifa, or you got to go the pathway of Imam Malik. There are no other chains back to the Prophet that exist today, Ox. There are none.
Jazakallah khair.
Hold on. You can't wrap up my point, Ox.
It's getting late. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay, so it's going to be a part 2 then.
I just want to wrap this up real quickly, okay?
So it's going to be a part 2.
Maybe, perhaps, if you invite me, I'll be happy to come. No problem.
Okay. Well, hold up now. I mean, if you gotta sign out, I'm because we got viewers and you made 3 points. I gotta respond to the 3 points. I would rather you be here while I respond to them, so that I don't misquote you, or even if you need to respond. But I gotta continue.
It's your platform. I know you're a good-hearted brother. You're not malicious or anything like that. So, yeah, as you please. But I just want to say real quickly, right, that we love the 4 imams, of course. The Salafis, we love the 4 imams. They're from our imam as well. You understand? But the 4 imams, their whatchamacallit, their manhaj is not.
You talking on my time. That's against the rules of debate. If you gotta go,
Are
you
we
gotta go.
debating?
If you got a
Are we
couple more
debating?
minutes to spare, I gotta finish my statement.
Are we
You can't
debating?
talk on my time.
I didn't think we were debating.
I named off your 3 points and I said, when you done, let me go.
Yeah.
So you can't talk on my time. That's against the sunnah of debate.
Tafadhal, go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
So to wrap that point up, and I know you got to go, so I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. To wrap that point up, it is mandatory for an individual to follow a person who knows how the Ahlul Madhahib interpret, ask those who know, is those are the scholars, we are not the scholars. When you know, you have to have, I went through that, sufficient knowledge in all of the Islamic sciences. And you can't just be a self-proclaimed, I know this, I know that. You have to be given ijazats from several different people. You have to sit amongst several different people who sat amongst several different people and they say, okay, he learned it. Now, these individuals all carry chains. Like my shuyukh, their names are in the isnads all the way back to the Prophet. All the way back, all 1,500 plus years. Their name, so we coming hard. We ain't coming soft. So when I say it's mandatory, yes. Because like I said, you can't find a hadith that doesn't have one of the 4 madhabs attached to it. You will never find one of them. They don't even exist. You won't find one from Abu Dawud al-Dhahiri. You won't find from Layth ibn Sa'd. You won't find one. And it's all the scholars have already said, like, some people is just, Allah gave the gifts to gab and popularity to some others, and that was the will of Allah that all those other madhahib, faded away. The only 4 that we can go and look right now and say they have a chain link back to the Prophet, so we can believe what they say, are the 4 schools. That's it. Ain't nobody else got that chain, so nobody else can have a claim to knowledge. They all disappeared. The second issue, what is the second issue? I forgot. what was the? You said I made it follow for the wajib. I mean wajib for the follow school. What was the second issue?
I can't remember. This is what I wanted to avoid anyways, because it went all over the place, right? But the main point was you said that is wajib, it is fard to follow a madhab. I say no, it's not. It's fard to follow an alim, yes, and we specify.
Oh, let me interrupt you. That's what the second point was. An alim, you just reminded me. An alim having to be from a madhab.
Yeah.
You can't be an alim if you don't belong to a madhab, because like Imam Muslim said, knowledge is through isnad. Unless people will just say anything.
Yeah.
That was in his introduction to his book. He was trying to impress upon people because they wrote their books because there were so many fabricated hadiths.
Yeah, and
that was the reason. So,
okay, bro.
So if you're an alim, you have to have learned from somebody who learned from somebody who learned from somebody all the way back to the Prophet, because knowledge is transmitted. It's not made up. It's not like you pick up a book, you pick up the Quran, you pick up the hadith, and you say, okay, I know what's going on. That ain't how Islam works. Allah gave it to Jibril. Jibril gave it to the Prophet. Prophet gave it to the Sahaba. Sahaba gave it to the Tabi'een. The Tabi'een gave it to the Tabi'een. The Tabi'een gave it to the Salaf. The Salaf gave it to the Khalaf, and it was done after that. So if you are an alim, then you are connected. You connected to that. You have to. You have.
So Hassan al-Basri, how can we certify? Which alim was he following? Hassan al-Basri.
Who?
Hassan al-Basri.
Hassan al-Basri. It's agreed upon that Hassan al-Basri was a mujtahid. He didn't follow anybody.
But you just said yes.
I said it's mandatory for everybody except a mujtahid. You gotta go and research what a mujtahid is.
Okay, and the Sahaba were which method did they follow again? Because you didn't answer that.
I did answer it.
You answered it.
Oh, okay. slow all the way down. And
No. I don't need a long explanation.
I'm gonna rewind I'm gonna rewind this and put a
one-word
soundbite up of when I
answer.
answered the question.
Were they Maliki?
They followed the madhab of the Prophet. You just missed what I just said.
Okay, all right.
The Prophet gave it to the
Sahaba.
Sahaba.
Now, is it haram for me to follow the madhab of the Prophet?
Transmitted. It's the same. Like I said, how could Al-Albani have saw what the Prophet did if he didn't live in a time when the Isnab was being passed around? Imam Malik did.
Legit. It's like 10:03, and he spoke for almost 15 minutes.
Al-Albani contradicted Imam Malik. So you got these two people who are both claiming to be scholars. How are me and you, who are laymen, we got Al-Albani saying this, we got Malik saying that. Who are we gonna believe? Okay. I want to believe Al-Albani. I want to. Okay. But y'all gotta follow the rules like everybody else. Where's Al-Albani?
Actually, you spoke for now. It's like almost 17 minutes. You spoke, actually. All right. I can't even get a word in. You know what I mean? And
you spoke for a whole lot longer than that.
Come on.
We ain't timing each other.
When you watch the interview over again, right? You'll see. Right?
The fact of the matter is, what 4 imams brought. This is the fact of the matter. This is the answer to your question. What Malik brought, he brought what was given to him by the Tabi'in. And they
allow me to speak. Allow me to speak, please, Abdul Kabir. Please allow me to speak, and please don't disturb me. Please don't interrupt me. Okay. Abdul Kabir, I asked you just like plain questions, right? And the fact of the matter is that you can't prove that you have to follow a method. You're not able to do that. It's impossible, right? You can prove that you have to follow the Salaf, though, from the Quran and the Sunnah. Let's say, for example, we don't know Imam Malik, we don't know Imam Shafi, we don't know Imam Abu Hanifa, we don't know Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, right? We don't know them. Let's say that they're not in the picture. How do we prove from the Quran and the Sunnah that it's wajib, according to you, right, to follow these 4 imams? You can't do it, but you can prove that it's wajib, not only wajib, but it's fard from the Quran and the Sunnah to follow the Salaf. As Allah says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ما يشق الرسول من بعد ما تبين له الهدى ويتبع غير سبيل المؤمنين نوله ما تولى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمْ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. Okay, so Allah says in the Quran, and whoever opposes the messenger after guidance becomes clear to him and follows تَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَاتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. You know, guidance is made clear to him, and he follows a way other than the believers.
What does that have to do with anything?
Are you gonna let me finish?
I'm like, you said you don't want this to go all over the place. You taking it all over the place. What does that got to do with anything?
Are you letting me finish? Are you gonna allow me to finish?
I'm lost, and I'm sure the viewers are lost. How does that apply to this?
Are you gonna allow me to finish? Jazakallah khair. All right. And whoever follows a way other than the believers, then we will give him what he has taken and drive him into hell, and evil is that destination. So Allah has commanded to follow who? The believers in this ayat here. Who are the believers here? I'm asking you now. Just answer quickly. Who are the believers here?
I know that ayat. That's talking about the Sahaba.
Sahaba. Khalas. Right? So it's wajib to follow who?
The Sahaba.
Now, we know this, and this is what Salafiyya is. This is what we say. You can shake your head, but that's what we say, right?
All right, give me an example. Which Sahabi y'all follow?
All of them, of course. The
That's
believers,
that's not
the
possible.
prophets.
That's not possible. I'm gonna give you an example. That's not possible.
Akhi,
When it came to
answer,
Aqidah.
ask the question and allow me to answer. Okay. Allah said, غَيْرَ سَبِيلَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, other than the believers. He didn't say the believer. Now, if you are saying that it's one believer, then you have to prove that. So pretend now we don't know Malik, we don't know Shafi, we don't know Hanbal, we don't know Ahmed bin Hanbal, we don't know.
This is unbelievable.
We don't know them.
That's right? Impossible. I
prove.
I'm being real. From brother to brother. I'm telling you right now, because if you give me the permission to answer that question, you listen. It's gonna be 30 brothers. It's gonna be 30 brothers in your inbox. Like, you need to go back and learn your fiqh.
And just, they can say whatever they like, but
do not let me answer that question. Switch it. I'm being please, my brother.
You spoke for 20 minutes. I literally got on. I got on like at 10:06. It's 10:09 now. And again, you're not letting me say anything.
I just wanted you to. I just wanted to extend the olive branch to my brother.
I want to go to sleep. It's 10:09.
Subject. Don't make me answer that question. Please change the subject. Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be embarrassing to your level of understanding of hadith and fiqh and all that.
Everybody claims to love Layla, but Layla hasn't affirmed her love for any of them. A claim is just a claim until you prove it.
Continue. Let me tag
up until now. I'm not sure if you met a Salafi like me. Have I been rude to you?
No.
Have I called you any epithets?
No.
Have I said you're dal, mudil, and
no.
And
we don't gotta discuss that. We all right.
No. I've been completely respectful. I respected your time. I respect your platform. Correct? You agree, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, right. So this is the Salafi way. That's the real Salafi way. You understand? And when I'm saying that we follow the evidence, it's very, very easy. It's simple. It just bring us a hadith or something, Yes, you must follow Imam Malik or something like this. You know what I mean? Plus, what you said about there's a chain, a snad from Imam Malik to such as to whatever, Umar Khattab, Imam Malik, whatever, right? This chain that Imam Malik prayed with his hands on his side. Ala Rasi, it's no problem. It's no problem. That's our madhhab. You understand? The authentic narrations. But you have to show it's authentic. That's it, clause. If you can show it, we'll take it. Okay? Jazakallah khair. Nice talking to you. My wife is going to beat me up.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you coming on the platform.
Yeah. And inshallah, we can do it again, inshallah. It's no problem.
Okay. All right, Habibi.
All right. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right. So I asked the brother to stay on for the response. I asked him not to ask me that question. I got to do it to him. So his question was, let's pretend that that the four imams, let's pretend that them and quote their whole generation doesn't exist, and we got to go straight to the Sahaba. My friends and family who are Muslims. That's why I said this is why being a Salafi is a problem. And alhamdulillah, may Allah Ta'ala reward the brother. He has a sincere heart. I'm sure most of the Salafiyah have a sincere heart, but this is the problem with being a Salafi. They completely when I told my wife didn't understand when I had to teach her like, yo, you got to come off of that. She didn't understand. And I used to tell her all the time, the Salafi, they go straight to the Quran and straight to the Sunnah. They inherit the books, but they do not inherit that hikmah that came with the books. They do not inherit that tafsir, those commentaries that came with those books. It's very clear the brother got to go back to, his studies, and I hope he sees this so it ain't like I'm backbiting or nothing, but just for the sake of the viewers, so that y'all aren't if y'all not already clear on these things, that y'all aren't misguided. This is the problem with Salafi, and I'm assuming he's knowledgeable. I mean, there might be some Salafi brothers that's watching this that are a little bit more knowledgeable than him and would know that what he said was just completely unacademic. And I'm gonna drop the bombshell. It is impossible, like I said, to withdraw that. First and foremost, the four imams that played a pivotal role in giving us the Quran and the Sunnah. First and foremost, that's what it's not is. Malik heard it from Nafi'. Nafi' heard it from Ibn Umar. Ibn Umar heard it from Umar. Khalas. That's knowledge. That's the deen. If the Salafiyah can't produce this, then they need to stop being Salafi. Period. It ain't about I like Al-Albani and the way he look, and he has a nice beard, and he's a fiery orator. It ain't about none of that. It's about the raw facts. So, like he said, if you take the four imams out, that's equivalent to taking out their whole generation. They were the leaders. They were the leaders and amongst the leaders of their generation. What the Salafiyah called themselves loving, the time of the Salaf. They were the leaders of the time of the Salaf. If you take them out of that chain, it is a weak hadith. These are called mu'allal and mu'akkal hadith. I'm gonna leave it to y'all to figure out what that is. But I'm playing around with hadith. Hadiths are real heavy, real heavy. Like the book that I'm working out of, it has 65 chapters, and each chapter is at least 5 pages front and back about is this hadith came from this guy, from this dude, in this situation, from this area, and these people, and that tribe, and this tribe knew this Sahabi, so they took that isnad, that Sahabi learned from this Sahabi, and from, it's crazy. It ain't nothing to play with. So you got for example, and one of y'all correct me. So if you got a chain, he said, let's pretend we don't have Imam Malik. So let's say, what was Imam Malik's? Yahya ibn Yahya. So in the Muwatta, we got he asked for a chain with those in the hadith book with a chain with those individuals in it. You go look at the Muwatta, all of the hadith that I've seen, I think it's all of them. 100% of them say Yahya ibn Yahya heard from Malik, Malik heard from Nafi, Nafi heard from, and Imam Malik got different chains of narrations, but that's the best one. We're gonna use this as an example. If you say Yahya ibn Yahya, skip Imam Malik, and then go straight to Nafi, because all of the hadith scholars throw that hadith out. That's what I'm saying. That's why I told the brother, don't make me answer that question. Are the Salafiyah not learning about hadith? That's what I'm saying. Like the knowledge is transmitted. And the Salafiyah are like being loud on the internet and stuff, and they pulling, like I said in the beginning, they pulling down on brothers in the masjid, and even me and my wife would be talking on a post, and then a Salafi brother would come and be like, "Oh, sister, be careful who you take knowledge from. He's a Sufi, he's a Shafi'i, he's this," and making all this fuss and all this trouble. But when you put them on the hot seat, they take off running. They ain't got the answers for the questions. That's why I've been saying in the page and in the group, can anyone Salafi, call y'all Sheikh, call y'all Shuyukh, call y'all A'imah, bring me somebody who can bring a chain of transmission back to the Prophet ﷺ, and then I'm going to go get my big dogs, and we're going to talk about if y'all hadiths are any good or not. And I'm 99% sure that that's not possible. All of the asanid that are in rotation they were passed down to us from the people of the madhab. How can a Salafi go and say you don't have to follow a madhab, but then go and find a hadith from a brother who is a leader in a madhab and then say you don't have to follow a madhab. That's what I was trying to explain to him when he brought up Al-Albani's book, the Sifatu Salah, Sifatu Nabi, or whatever, as if you've seen it. It's plagiarism. It's academic plagiarism, period. He didn't get none of them hadiths from any of the muhaddithun. When I say that, and my Salafi brothers and sisters know this about that book, it's fraudulent. It is. He wouldn't grab hadiths from all these different books and put them together and compile them in his book. Told you don't blind follow the four imams, but blind follow me. Don't listen to Imam Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa. Don't listen to them, but I'm going to take hadiths that they helped bring to the surface, that they helped transmit. He didn't have any part in transmitting those hadiths. I'm going to take his work and their work, and then I'm going to make it my own. And this ain't Shafi'i. This is Salafi. That is academic plagiarism at its finest. And it's only from arrogance when this is proven and you sustain the position because you've been doing it for 30 years, or you love it so much, or you got some internet YouTube personality that just talks so good about the Quran and the Sunnah, and he gets a lot of views, and I follow that imam. That ain't the deen. That is not the deen. Like I've said before, I'm gonna get to these comments and shut up. Like I said before, you have to follow a madhab. You have to, because Allah commanded you to make salah. Allah commanded you to pay zakah. Allah commanded you to do jihad. Allah commanded you to be nice to the wife. Allah commanded you to be respectful to the husband. Allah commanded you to be quiet if you don't say that. The Prophet Islam, they commanded you to be quiet if you don't have nothing good to say. What is the fiqh revolving around these things? You can't take a hadith. It is a mistake, and it is academic plagiarism when the Salafiyah say my hadith is my madhab is the Sahih hadith. That is academic plagiarism because hadiths contradict each other. Hadiths contradict each other. It's a famed story of Sahih Bukhari, Imam Bukhari himself. He narrated as a Sahih hadith in his collection, in Sahih Bukhari. He narrated that it is not, that the Prophet ﷺ said, in his Sahih, that the Prophet ﷺ said that it's not permissible to ask for death. And then his followers unanimously, the people who were around him, narrated that when he was up in age and it got hard for him, he supplicated to Allah for death. You can't follow just the sound narration. There's a sound narration in Bukhari about Abdullah ibn Umar. He narrating about folding the hands in the prayer. But Abdullah ibn Umar himself, a Sahabi, himself did not pray with his hands folded. He was reported to have prayed with his hands to the side. You can't just open up a book and say, I'm following this. Is that okay? Yes, you can. Don't say that Abdul Kabir al-Maliki said it's not okay to fold the hands. It's a fiqh issue. That's a different conversation for a different day. But for conversation's sake, for people to just say, I'm gonna open up Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, and then if Imam Malik said he never heard of praying with the hands folded, but I got a hadith right here, Sahih Bukhari, saying you pray with the hands folded, you can't say that. Don't follow Imam Malik in that fatwa, or follow Imam Malik because they're men and they make errors and they're not perfect, and we're like Shias and believing that our imams are perfect, and we're taking the fatwa of Imam Malik and the other three imams over the ahadith. Listen, my Salafi brothers and sisters, listen. Imam Malik brought the hadith to you about folding the hands in salah. It's in his Muwatta. It's in his hadith collection. The hadith collection that Imam Bukhari, rahimahumullah, said is the best hadith book of all. It's in there. So if you really a true student and you really sincere at heart, you will ask yourself, why would Imam Malik narrate the hadith with a sound narrate with a sound chain, but he acted and did something different. This is when you get fiqh. You can't have hadiths without fiqh, and you can't have fiqh without hadiths. All this manhaj talk and methodology talk, that's all propaganda slogans. It's all propaganda slogans. That's all it is. We follow the Quran, quote, we follow the Quran and the Sunnah according to the way of the Sahaba. What was the madhab of the Sahaba? Well, we brought y'all, the people of the madhabs brought the Salafiyah, and the people who don't follow the madhabs, we brought y'all the sound narrations from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and Abdullah ibn Abbas. One of them doing tafweed and the other one doing ta'wil in Aqidah. We brought that to y'all. Which one do you follow? You can't follow all of them. But there is a little hadith that the Salafiyah they've been ignoring, or they don't learn about it because it's not in their little books from Al-Albani and Bin Baz, and there's not a YouTube video from Sheikh Rabi or whatever. There is a little hadith that Nabi alayhi was reported that says something of the such, my Sahaba are like the stars in the sky. If you follow any one of them, you'll be guided. They ignore that. That's a hadith too. They say the good hadith is their madhab. That's a hadith. Which one are you following? If you can't possibly, there were hundreds of thousands of sahabi, ashab, and tabi'een. How can you possibly follow all of them? How is it possible that all of them did the same? It's proven that all of them did not do the same things all the time and the same. It's proven. If you stay stuck in a Salafi mentality, then you're gonna fall into the sin of casting the Sahaba out of the bounds of Islam, like y'all do us, and say the Sahaba is misguided. At the beginning of the talk, I told the brother, you gotta. There's a famous Sahih hadith, and it's mutafaqun alayh, when the Rasulullah sallallahu said, when you reach your, I'm paraphrasing, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you reach your destination, make asr. Half of them said, or a group of them said, we took that to mean Rasulullah sallallahu said, hurry up. The other one took it literally. So a group of them went and prayed asr. When they got there, and Assad had left, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, and a group of them prayed beforehand. Which one was right and which one was wrong? And then when they brought that situation back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, you both were correct. So if Imam Malik took from the way of Umar, and then we got Imam Abu Hanifa, who took from the way, the style, and the way of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. They both right. Not one and not the other's right. I believe that's a conspiracy. Like what he said about the government came and tried to divide us with this with the bad Salafiyah and then the good Salafiyah. No, I believe the government put Salafiyah in the community to divide the real Muslim community. Hell, it's proven they did it with Abdullah ibn Abdul Wahab. They called that man Sheikh, and he killed Muslims, certified good Muslims in Haram, took them to war for political power, and then lied and said that they were creating shirk and worshiping graves and all this madness. That honestly, that's probably the last time I'm gonna talk to a Salafi, because I've been at this for 15 years and I've been hearing the same stuff. And I was hoping, brother has very beautiful character, real nice brother, man. But I'm hearing the same stuff over and over again. And Salih, my brother Salih, he told me the last time I made a video and he saw my frustration, he said, brother, give it up. That's my big brother. He said, man, give it up. You ain't gonna get nowhere. We already did that. We already done talked to them brothers. We done talked to the leaders amongst them brothers. We done had major sit downs with them brothers. They somewhere else with it. And for real, that's what we're gonna have to conclude. And I see a bunch of the comments. I'm gonna try to go through as many of them as I possibly can. y'all gotta define the slogans, man. If you say you following the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Sahaba, you got to define that. I say I follow the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Sahaba, and I prove to you where I got what I'm doing from. I'm Malik, I'm Nafi, I'm Abdullah ibn Umar. Finished. I haven't found one Salafi that can bring me a straight answer as of yet to, like I said in the beginning, the people of the Madh-habi have been here. We certified. Nobody can argue that. If you argue that, you ain't allowed to have this conversation. The whole Salafi Minhaj movement, it came out of nowhere. With Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. That's just the facts. And Al-Albani. It came from them dudes. And then I can't find a Salafi who can give me a straight answer when they say they follow the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salah. And I say, well, why do y'all, out of all of the scholars, mind you, the vast majority of scholars in Taqiyuddin Ibn Taymiyyah in his time castigated him. He was not adulated. He was not celebrated at the end. In the beginning, before he started tripping, and may Allah forgive me if I'm not speaking correctly, but I'm just trying to shoot straight. I ain't trying to be no scholar and be all fake humble and, oh, brother, rahimahumullah. Miss me with all that, man. I'm shooting straight from the hip. The scholars castigated that man. They never accepted him. He went from prison to prison to prison to prison to prison. Why would you follow somebody who obviously had problems and then say, oh no, he was a great faqih? We don't even really have. We got the Majma'atul Fatawa. We got that, but I've heard Salafis tell me that that's not even really a fiqh book. It's just like a bunch of fatwas that he himself gave. Yes, he was a good faqih, a Hanbali faqih. Yes, he was. But all that other stuff with the touch seam and all that, he was tripping. Why would people choose a person who had problems with the community, with the entire community? Why would you choose that one person who obviously has some issues to take from, quote unquote? Why not take from melodies unless it ain't not one bad thing said about Malik? It ain't not one bad thing said about Imam Abu Hanifa. Ain't one bad thing said about Imam Shafi'i. And don't try to say, oh, well, Imam Malik was prison too. Yeah, and he was beaten till his shoulders were dislocated. He was. And it was because of the haq. It wasn't because of some Delilah. Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, he was being in prison for his Delilah. So don't try to compare the two. Don't try to compare Imam Ahmad being imprisoned. They were on the right path, and all of the imams at the time were siding with them. All of the Salihin was siding with them. It was tyrants that was castigating them. And they didn't budge. Why, when we have all this established, why when there's a question, you say, I'm Salafi, I follow the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf and the Sahaba. Oh, okay. Oh, do you? Can you prove that? Oh, we just follow to the way of the Salaf. Well, which one? Oh, we follow all of them. Well, they all contradict each other. Like, so Imam Shafi'i was from the Salaf. He said he says touching a woman, break the wudu. I tell people this all the time. Imam Abu Hanifa, he was a leader amongst the Salaf. He said it doesn't. Which one are you? They from the Salaf? Oh, you ain't following neither one of them? Well, who are you following then? Which one of these Salafi, you can't build a fiqh, you can't build a minhaj, you can't build a methodology if it don't have no fiqh in it. Fiqh is the methodology. Fiqh is the minhaj. What is the fiqh of marriage? What is the fiqh of divorce? Ain't nobody talking about what's the methodology of divorce. What's the methodology of marriage? That is bid'ah. That don't exist. It's fiqh. That's the methodology. This is how you go about doing a divorce. This is how you go about doing a marriage. That's fiqh. That's my method. Not if you stay stuck in a slogan and you say, "Oh, I'm following the minhaj." Okay, well, what is your minhaj? What is it? What does it say about divorce? Oh, I just read my fiqh book. This is how the conversations go with Salafis on Facebook. Oh, I just really read the fiqh book. Oh, there's a million fiqh book. Which one? Imam Shafi's Risala. That's not a fiqh book, brother. That's a Sulu fiqh. There's some fiqh in there, but that's a Usuli book. That's a Usuliyah. Not that. Oh, read the Umdatu Salik. Oh, that's not Salafi. That's Shafi'i. I don't get it. That's not following the methodology of Al-Albani and the methodology of Bin Baz and the methodology of Sheikh Rabi. That's not that. So why do you even bother calling yourself a Salafi? If you're going to use the foundation of your methodology is fiqh, if the foundation of your methodology is fiqh, why are y'all not just being humble and just saying, I'm a Shafi'i and I follow this is what Salafis have to do. This is what y'all have to do in order to be straight and narrow, in order to be on the straight and narrow, in order to come out of the lala. This is what y'all have to do. Say I'm Hanbali. That's the easiest, smoothest transition to what y'all already doing. Say I follow the Hanbali fiqh, since y'all love Taqiyuddin Ibn Taymiyyah so much, rahimahumullah, and then say I'm Athari in my creed. And really, I already did a video. There's really no such thing as like a separate Athari creed. It's not, because there isn't. That just means you confirm the statements that Allah Ta'ala said about the mutashabihat. It's simple. It's that simple. It ain't all sophisticated like a lot of people like to try to make it. We shouldn't even go into it. Period. Dang, it's 120 comments. Oh my goodness. I can't get to all these comments. Let me shut up. But that's what y'all got to do. That's what y'all got to do. There is no methodology, brothers. There's no methodology. There is none. Y'all have already proven it. When I asked the question, I didn't make the accusations first. I made posts on Facebook, and then I've been begging all the brothers that have been arguing with me on Facebook, come on live and defend yourself. Explain to me. What is the methodology? Oh, every single 100% of the Salafis that commented on that post referred me to the Ahlul Madh-habi fiqh books. Y'all don't have a methodology. News flash. Y'all with us. Stop making trouble. Get in line. Like everybody else. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm in line. I don't have an opinion. I don't have a fatwa. I ain't about to tell you no tafsir. I'm just an old thug trying to go to heaven. That's it. How are we gonna get into creating? I seen the brothers earlier too say, let's not start this fifth madhab stuff. I was being kind, Jomo. I was being kind. And I was trying to be kind because it's real touchy. And when you start digging in a brother's intellect, they get offended real quick. I don't get offended. Like if you bust my head about something, I'm like, alhamdulillah, that makes sense. Okay. And I changed my position. I done had many of brothers bust my head about a lot of things. Please bust my head as much as y'all possibly can so that I can be right before I leave this earth. That's my concern. Fix y'all's nia back to that, man. Cause I'm lightweight. Like, listen, I'm about to just start going ham on the Salafis. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. I'm just about to start going ham. I'm about to get with the rest of the brothers. It ain't no peace, man. Real talk, it ain't no peace. How in the world can people suggest that we remove one of the links in the chain, pretend the link in the chain is not there? That's what an isnad is. What are they? Y'all so caught up in with arguing with the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah that y'all not even learning y'all deen. And that's what I told my wife. Like, that's the problem. Like, she never heard about fiqh and all the stuff when she was a Salafi. They never taught her none of that. All they said is don't take from him, don't take from that, don't take from this, don't take from that. This person is refuted. This person is a deviant. That person is a deviant. That's all they ever talk about. That's all they videos on there. Besides like two of them that I know of. Y'all not even learning y'all's thing. Y'all not even doing a methodology. It was brought to me like this. In order for you to make a certain type of soup, you want to make vegetable soup, you need the ingredients for vegetable soup. You can't go and get me no hamburger. You can't go get me a block of Velveeta cheese. And you can't go get me no nacho chips and put it in a pot and give it to me and tell me that that's vegetable soup. Astaghfirullah. To the person who said astaghfirullah on this comments. I seen it, but I didn't see what you said. Astaghfirullah. The deen was transmitted. What we doing is serious. This affects our souls. It's not a game. Don't take and disorganize my ahadith that I need for my fiqh, that I need for my daily practice. You playing with my life. That ain't no joke. That ain't YouTube. This ain't YouTube. This ain't Facebook. This ain't IG followers. This ain't that. Y'all want me to take a person, y'all want me to believe a person, accept a person, promote a people that take the deen and mix it up into something else and then tell me that's the deen. That is the opposite of what Rasulullah ﷺ commanded us to do. That is the opposite of ati Allah wa ati Rasul. That's the opposite of that. That makes no sense. If Rasulullah ﷺ did it A, B, and C, don't nobody have the right to come and say it's C, B, and A or any other type of order. That's what the Salafi are doing. The Ahl Madhab, the Imams of the Madhab, they are the ones who created the sciences of fiqh. They are the ones who brought us usul al-hadith. Thank you, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Abu Hanifa. Y'all talking about, oh, my methodology is the Sahih Hadith and the statement of the Sahabas. How would you ever have gotten the Sahih Hadith and the statements of the Sahaba without the Imams of the Madhahib? What Hadith circle, what Ta'aleem circles are y'all sitting in? Where you can take mu'allal hadiths and make them sound. What? You want to take a part of the chain out and then tell me to take it? This is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. This is our lives. These are our families. This is my wife. These are my children that I got to take to the masjid, and I got to sit them down in submission, and we might have to listen to some of this. This is serious. This ain't no game. Tell me why in the world would somebody want to play with the deen? That's playing with the deen. The greatest of the imams sat and debated with each other. The greatest of them. The one that y'all hate the most, Imam Ash'ari, wa rahmatullah alayh. He sat and he was a Mu'tazili for 40 years of his life. He was an imam with the Mu'tazila. Not for 40 years, but he spent 40 years of his life being in that deviant sect. And then one day he lost the debate. The brother from the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah that he was debating with cornered him. He didn't have answers for the stuff. He sat down overnight and thought about it. It was like, man, the brother right. That's what y'all gotta do. It's 120 some comments in here. Better if it's a Salafi in here saying stuff a lot to what I'm saying, you better put, if you had the energy to put that in there, put the chain of narration of Al-Albani and the whole Minhaj. Put y'all's Minhaj chain in the comments. I don't want to hear nothing y'all got to say. I'm keeping it real. Let me get to these comments. Oh my goodness. And I can bring a third brother in to help moderate the convo. I thought about that, but I ain't really like that cool with any other Salafis, and I ain't wanting to bring none of my folks because I definitely was gonna hit Abu Isa up. I was gonna hit Imam Nadir, my right hand man. I was gonna hit all of them up, but I was like, me and bro cool. You know what I'm saying? We cool on here. So, we had a good say. I mean, we raise our voice at each other and talk to each other a little bit. I don't got no bad opinion about him or none of that. Like, but I'm a fiery individual. Anybody know me know that. I'm just a fiery individual. If we playing basketball, you hit me with an elbow, I'm gonna hit you with 2 elbows. That don't mean I hate you. I'm just trying to win the game. Shout out to Kobe, the GOAT. Issa Bay said, I'm tuning out. This is going nowhere. You need a moderator. Maybe inshallah I'll start getting a moderator. But this the problem with a moderator. Like if it's one of my folks, then maybe they won't be fair when the brother ain't, with a Salafi brother who need to make his point or whatever. Like, that's the reason why I didn't do it. But inshallah I'll take y'all's advice. And I got plenty of brothers that'll jump on here. Ahmad Sadiq said, Salafi don't believe in Islam, microwave Islam. Pretty much. Me so good and said, authentic chain. Where's the chain of the Salafis? I'm not the only one that's crazy. My brother, Saleh Abdul Majid, he said, Al-Albani is not a person of knowledge, LOL. Ahmed Sadiq, it doesn't mean that. I don't know what you meant by that. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Abu Isa, he said, did Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab ask the people of knowledge? Man, what a good point. They quote the ayah, ask the people of knowledge, but then their leader, Al-Albani, he himself didn't even ask the people of knowledge. He took it amongst himself to go in the hadith, and then he's stealing hadith from people who follow the madhabs and then telling everybody else don't follow a madhab. Go figure. Jomo Williams said, just like calling yourself Salafi doesn't make sense. Pretty much. Tasha, my sister Tasha, she said, right, brother Abdul Muhammad, he broke it way down exactly. That's one of the reasons why some people who once accepted Islam ends up leaving their deen, na'udhu billah, because they are confused about what to follow and not just saying it's one reason. That's a fact. That's another intention with this initiative. And Saleh Abdul Majid said, that's in fiqh akhi. Remind me of what you was talking about. Salih Abdul said, not in hadith. Abu Isa good, he laughing. Abu Isa said, stuck on a ridiculous point. Isa Bey, same criteria for calling himself Salafi. Like, so are you, Isa Bey, are you saying like, I don't know what you mean by that. If you still on here, explain. D. Lamont, what's going on? What's going on, my brother? I know you advised me in the past to quit my gang banging. I'm sorry, big brother. We just got to do some straightening. You know what I mean? Okay, he's so good and said, it is wajib for the layman to ask the scholar, and the scholar would be an adherent of a madhab. Therefore, the layman is following a madhab by default. Simple as that. Jomo Williams. He needs someone to speak with him that understands Arabic along with the issues. True. Abu Isa said some Arabic. He said, فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذُوا إِلَىٰ رَبَّهُ. I don't know what that means. Imam Nadir, what does that mean? This person, Imam Abu Hanifa, has a book called Al-Musnad. Oh, see? Joyce Pro, he's one of our imams, one of our black imams. Joyce Pro, that's Imam Nadir Abdullah al-Maliki. He corrected. He was a very learned person in the Hanafi fiqh before he became an imam in Maliki fiqh. So yeah, he just put the stamp on it, brothers, sisters. Go find Imam Abu Hanifa's book called Al-Musnad. Abu Isa Gooden. What's the point behind the question? Abu Hanifa was a junior tabi'i. Absolutely. I have fiqh akbar. Ooh. See, you got to be careful what you say, man. Brothers will pull up with them sticks, man. Brother Jomo Williams said he got the fiqh akbar. I don't know none of them hadith, but them hadith there. And we can get them on here if that is the determining factor to bring the brother to the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Then let's get it, y'all. I'll chip in. Jomo said, but what will it prove to a person that's being facetious? Absolutely. Fiqh al-Akbar isn't a book of fiqh. Okay, I stand corrected. What is Fiqh al-Akbar? Imam Nadir, I need to bring you on here, man. Leo Daddy Rodriguez. I hope I said your name right. Please forgive me if I didn't. You killing us, bro. Salafis have the gift of speech. That is known, man. Jimmy Williams said exactly to Imam Nadir's comment. Ahmad Sadiq said, what the heck? I'm sorry, y'all, that we did a little bit of back and forth. Sorry, I apologize, but hopefully, the points came out. Who has a higher rank, a muhaddith or a faqih? Yeah, I mean, they different if you ask me. I really don't know. I would probably say a faqih from what I've learned thus far. Jomo, let us know what the answer to that question is. Abu Asa Gooden, Abu Muwatta. I think he was tagging somebody. Leo Daddy Rodriguez, where the heck is Abu Muwatta for the Hanafis? Oh, yeah, get the brother in here. Somebody add the brother to the group. Add the brother to the group, man, because we finna go on our own slot. Man. Hey, what's going on, DeMarcus Reynolds? Assalamu alaikum, Aki. Tanasani's keys, she said, oh, well, he wants to Hakeem Jaffa. Hey, good brother. How you doing? You ready to have that sit down, good brother? Ahmed Sadiq said, no, they don't. I'm sorry, my bad, y'all. I missed all these comments, man. Maybe when I'm doing my videos, I got to start incorporating the comments because I don't know everything. And a lot of people that be in the comments can chip in on a lot of stuff that, on a lot of points that I probably won't make or can't make or don't know about. So I'm going to try to start putting the comments in question. But when it get heated, though, Justin said, brother, forget America, broke all the way down and basically chewed his points up. And so now he's ready to leave. Leo Dottie Rodriguez, poor Salafi, I really feel bad. He's like, what? Brother Abdul Kabir Muhammad, touching his key, I don't think so. There are quite a few brothers here that would have done a more thorough job. I mean, I've been looking for them. That's why I've been making a post. I even told the people, I said, tag an imam, tag a brother. I know how to not yell at the imams. Like, I won't yell at him. Yeah, Hussein Spencer said it's not uncommon to follow one of the four imams, but it is uncommon to follow a Muslim imam. So that's a contradictory statement. All due respect, Hussein Spencer, you said it's not incumbent to follow one of the four imams, but it's incumbent to follow a mujtahid imam. The four imams were mujtahid, so that means you got to follow them. Like, we don't have any other ones. Who are the other ones? There were other ones, but we don't have their material. We have the material of the four. So how is it not incumbent to follow the four? Somebody enlighten me. He said that's what I understood it to be. It's not fun to follow. So there seems to be some confusion there. Yeah, the brother Hussein Spencer said it's not mandatory to follow one of the four imams, but it's incumbent or mandatory to follow a mujtahid imam who can extract rulings from the book and the sunnah and the ijma and can exercise qiyas. And the sister Tasha said, yeah, that's what she thought it would be. That's incorrect. The four imams were mujtahid. And the fiqh that we have, when we say I follow the madhhab of so-and-so, the fiqh that we have is their ijtihad. That's the same thing. We only have the ijtihad of the four imams. That's what the fiqh is. We don't have any of the other ones. If we did, we use that too. That's why I said, like, the Salafis claiming that they not one of us. That's why my first question was, why do the Salafis distinguish themselves from the rest? If y'all not one of us, then why y'all using our books? If you ain't one of us. But the brother, and in respect to what the brother said they are one of us. But if you are one of us, then why are y'all attacking when Imam Abu Hanifa or somebody gave a fatwa and then there's a hadith in another book that said something opposite of what his fatwa is, wouldn't you think Imam Abu Hanifa had a reason? And that's Phil. Like I can get Imam Nadir on here and put y'all to sleep talking about that type of stuff. But I try to stay away from that complicated stuff because I want to make these videos for the masses so that we can all get on the Siyat al-Mustaqim. Once we on the Siyat al-Mustaqim, then I could dump y'all off on people like Abu Isa and Saleh and Imam Nadir that's gonna really like, put you together, line it all the way up for you. But we gotta shift the focus first. You almost said, read the introduction to Sahih Muslim, please. Anybody, please. He said, they follow the methodology of the Prophet ﷺ. That methodology represents exactly what the Prophet ﷺ said in his hadith about the best of generations. In each generation, there are those who represented the best of that generation, and so on and so forth. That's true. King, what up, Aki? Assalamu alaikum. I'm still up to my shenanigans, man. What they say, what people do sometimes, they do all the time, man. What up, Ak? That's my twin. That's my Muslim twin, y'all. Jomo Williams say, hey, Corso King. Hey, when I used to be arguing with the Salafi brothers and the Nation of Islam brothers in the joint, I used to be like, I used to try to prove my point. They were like, he trying to say, he like, man, I don't care about none of that, man. Hey, get on this rug or I'm put something to sleep. I came through the deen like that. And the brothers, brothers can feel the hawk. And they ain't getting into what hadith is sound and this one ain't. I came up in the deen around mass Umars. I'm talking about, man, these internet people would not have made it through my bit. No way, no how. No way, no how. My brothers was getting snatched up for saying stuff that wasn't Quran and Sunnah. How I came through it, you had to be smart. Then you had to be on the surat. If you wasn't, it was going to be hell to pay. I promise you that. Spencer said the four imams codified what was already laid down by Rasulullah that's correct, and his companions, correct. They existed in the time of the Salaf. So, yeah, so I already said all this stuff. Rulings of Ibn Mas'ud. Yeah, I said all this stuff already. Alhamdulillah. Issa Bey, Aki, you have to have a moderator, inshallah. Maybe you're a moderator. Issa Bey, hit me on the DM because we getting ready to do some more videos, man. I don't know if I want to be on with no more Salafis though, man, because I ain't even gonna lie. They ain't saying nothing different. It's been 15 years. I ain't heard not one of them from an imam all the way down to a layman. I ain't heard none of them say nothing different. They say, "Oh, we follow the Quran Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf." Okay, how? Oh, we follow the Quran Sunnah with the Salaf. How? When I say I'm a Maliki and I say I pray with my hands to the side, I'm gonna tell you say, "Oh, well, where'd you get that from?" There's a hadith that says this. I'm gonna break it down to you. Imam Malik said when Ibn Qasim asked him, was like, what do you say about folding the hands to the side? He said, I ain't never seen that before. So if y'all can't figure that out, that means that Imam Malik, who lived in Medina, and Medina was the leader of the Hijaz. If you know anything about Islam, then the Hijaz and Medina was the leader of the whole entire Muslim Ummah. They had the highest concentration of Sahabi, of Ashab in Medina and the Hijaz. Imam Malik never left Medina. I think he made Hajj. Never left the Hijaz, sorry. Never, he said he don't know nothing about that. But he gave permission for it. But he said he don't know nothing about that. And then in another statement, he said, I'm going to take 1,000 from 1,000 as opposed to taking one from one. So in a hadith, even if it's sound, it's one narrator to another narrator to another narrator. That's one to one to one to one. When he saw thousands of people, and these people were the Tabi'i, and they learned from the Tabi'in, and then they learned from the Sahaba, praying with their hands to the side. That's the logic. But then what do you do with the hadith and the strong fiqh position of Imam Malik? Different conversation for a different day. They ain't even that sophisticated, so we can't even have that conversation. Jamoria's document is not even heard. Bush Pierce, what's happening, Butch? City. Assalamu alaikum. We need to tag you in here, man. We need to get the Salihin in here, man. What's up? Get in here, city. And be busy. Salam alaikum. Bubbles, what's going on? I can. Ten these things key, right, brother? You can't follow all of them. I don't know who Star is, but hey, how you doing? Farouk Thomas. Hey, salam alaikum. I seen you salam earlier too, Farouk Thomas. Sorry, he was talking. I was trying not to interrupt him. So I'm returning your salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. I just couldn't with my man. Yeah. Hope he wasn't talking about me. Johnny People, salam alaikum. What that fo like? Farouk Thomas. I've been hearing it since the 90s. It's a rap with them. Farouk Thomas. So was Sheikh Qadir Jalani a Sufi brought up? I don't know that much about this situation. Inshallah, maybe we could put you on the channel, and you can get us together about that fitna. Yeah, Sitting on said, Astaghfirullah, even Ibn Taymiyyah authored a book about the soundness of the people of Medina or the fiqh of Imam Malik. I wish I could share my screen. I got the book open right now, City. Right now. I got the book open from Ibn Taymiyyah, from Taqiyuddin Ibn Taymiyyah, saying that the title of the book is In Defense of man, what's the name of the book? Let me not misquote it. Where is that? What's the name of this book? Hold on. Yeah. In Defense of the Four Imams, Ibn Taymiyyah. I should share my screen so y'all can see. I got that book open right now. And he ain't, first and foremost, he's claiming the madhhab. And second, on top of that, he's defending the people of the madhhab. And then third, in that book, Taqiyuddin Ibn Taymiyyah himself is saying that they are all rightly guided. And that is a sin, and it's haram to curse them or say that they're on the wrong path for any of that. That's what Ibn Taymiyyah said about the four imams. I don't know where they getting all this other stuff saying that we on the lala and all of that. Farouk Thomas said they only have broth. Yeah, for the soup. Yeah, man, we need all the key ingredients to make up. I don't even think I was able to finish that point, but in order for you to get vegetable soup, you got to bring the right ingredients. That's how your salah is. You have to make wudu a certain kind of way and in a certain kind of order, and not in order to bring out its desired effect. You have to do your salah in a certain kind of way, and you have to have those key ingredients. It ain't enough for you to just say, "Oh, I like this hadith in Sahih Muslim. I don't like that hadith in Sahih Bukhari. Well, let me get the Mustadrak and use that hadith. I'm gonna make salat like that." That ain't even what Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam did. These things were put in an order for us for a reason, and it is to bring out the desired effect to have on your soul, to open you up right, to touch your heart correctly. That's the reason why fiqh is so important. It's nothing that can just be cast aside and say, "Oh, I follow all of the imams." How? If one imam says you got to use 3 cups of broth, another imam says use 2 cups of broth, another imam says use 1 cup of broth, how you going to do that all at the same time? That don't even make sense. That shows you that they're not following fiqh at all, because they can't even see where the imam, they say they follow all of them, but they can't even see where the imams diverge at. Legitimately, they can't even see where they diverge at because they're not looking at it at all. Sitting said the way of the Sufis, the people of the Sufis, is the way of the Salaf. Khalas. The preceding scholars between the Sahaba and the Tabi'een, of those who follow good guidance. And this is Muqaddimat Ibn Khaldun and Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Khaldun, page 328, Ibn Taymiyyah. I don't know. So he brought us something from, I don't know if that's from Ibn Taymiyyah or Ibn Khaldun. Let us know, see. And what about the Trinitarian Tawheed demo? I ain't gonna go there, man. Where can we find that outside of Ibn Taymiyyah and Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahab? Right. AJ Abdullah, Assalamu alaikum. Aki, Imam Layth Madhhab no longer exists. Exactly. And they ain't even sophisticated enough to know that he even had a Madhhab. What's up, Lando? Little bitty buddy. What's going on, man? Basir Abu Ramla, Assalamu alaikum. Farouk Thomas, the Amal Ahmad Medina, the brother Farouk Thomas knows something. Marcus Reynolds said, I love watching you. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Alhamdulillah. Sitting on said, Ibn Khaldun, sorry, it was a typo. Okay, so he gave, if you don't know who Ibn Khaldun is, then you don't need to be watching this video. And he made the statement, clearing up what he said. He said, he said, the way of the Sufis, and you know, Salafis hate Sufis. This is Ibn Khaldun. They don't have a scholar that ever existed in their little methodology or whatever that was bigger than Ibn Khaldun. This is what he said. People of Tasawwuf is the way of the Salaf, the preceding scholars between the Sahaba and the Tabi'een, of those who followed good guidance. That's Ibn Khaldun. He's from the Khalaf. We'll talk about that another day. But man, listen, I ain't even ate. This video started at 8 o'clock. It's been going 3. I ain't never did a 3-hour video before. I'm hungry. I'm sleepy. I gotta go to bed. We all gotta get up and make a Fajr. We late for Aisha. I hope y'all did not miss Aisha watching the video. Well, you ain't miss Aisha according to the Malik mother. We talk about that some other time. I'm gone. I love y'all for the sake of Allah. If I said anything wrong, it does not belong to Allah. It does not belong to Allah's messenger, nor does it belong to any of the illustrious, rightly guided khulafa or the ulama. And these videos is to bring awareness to problems that are in our deen. It's not meant to bring disrespect to anybody. I appreciate the brother Colin coming on and conversating with us. I'm mad that he got frustrated. If you got heavy energy, like you shouldn't be able to get frustrated. We learned it. Whatever, but I appreciate the brother coming on, and may Allah Ta'ala guide him, may Allah Ta'ala guide me, and any of us that participated or said anything in the video. May Allah Ta'ala guide us, may Allah Ta'ala accept our good deeds, and may Allah Ta'ala forget and overlook, and overlook our shortcomings. We all trying to be sincere, we all making a good effort. Sorry, I'm come off a little sarcastic and brash. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just who I am. I'm a street dude. I can't be nothing other than who I am. Like I can't. I'm not that dude to be like, oh, alhamdulillah, assalamu brother. I ain't that. Listen. I'm a reformed killer, man. Put me over there with Omar and call me when it's time to start whacking them heads. And I try not to do these videos because I ain't trying to be whacking nobody's heads, but I'm all tight. I'm an old highway robber, man. So please excuse my brashness, man. That's just who I am. I don't mean nothing by it. I love everybody who says Kalima Shahada. I do not believe the Salafi are, I believe they're on the Lala, but I don't believe they're outside of Islam. I do not make takfir on them. I don't do that. I just think that the aqidah needs to be corrected. I think that the minhaj and their methodology anyway needs to be corrected. So I'm speaking on it. Everybody got a duty to say something. And we got all these videos talking about us, but we ain't got that many videos of us talking about them. So I'm just trying to up the score, as the youngins say. So I gotta go. I love y'all. I got some barbecue waiting on me. Inshallah. I'm gonna try to get that series started when we actually breaking down these issues. I'm promising I'm gonna do that one about tafweed and tafweed and ta'wil, and tafweed is legit, is not legit. Like, these are the dissenting issues. We're gonna break them down. We're gonna put them in layman's terms. I know it's hard to watch them, them hard videos from like Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. You got to interpret Sheikh Hamza Yusuf's English. Yeah, I do. When I was to he'll say a word. Like one time he said what did he say? The onus is on the person who made the claim. I'm like, man, I already struggling with my Arabic, and you here is using English words that I don't know and stuff. So I know that kind of stuff gets kind of frustrating. So I make an effort to figure those things out, and inshallah, in my effort of figuring those things out, I'll share them and break them down to the smallest layman terms as I possibly can. Other fruit say before we get out of here. Sister Denise Key, she said, I mean, brother, you are who Allah allowed you to be. I mean, thank you, sister. I appreciate you. Brother Fruit said, me too. I'm a thug with a library card. Hey, listen, I used to work in the library. You hear me? Look, they got me a job in the library when I wasn't even allowed. Like, I did 10 years, and I got a job in the library. You got to have, like, under, like, 4 years to work in the library or whatever. You know, you got access to computers and all type of stuff. Man, I was working in the library, like, my second year that I was in the joint. Like, they just got tired of giving me out of place tickets and sending me to the hole. Like I literally remember one time the CO was looking and they got an out of place ticket. And they're like, where was he at? Library. The CO looked at me like, I'm with you on that. I put the glizzy down and I picked up the books. I picked up the library card. Tulsa said, but these debates are good for us. That's how we learn, because ignorance is bliss. That's absolutely right. We're going to sign out on that one. Love y'all for the sake of Allah. Astaghfirullah wa la ilaha illallah wa la ilaha illallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.